coach. And on the Colts sideline, Ron Meyer, who has a winning record as the Indianapolis head coach, taking over in the last 3 games of the '86 season. Houston will kick off, and this kickoff is sponsored by Budweiser, the king of beers. Bentley a yard deep for Indianapolis. Takes it out just short of the 20-yard line, knocked down at about the 19 by special teams coverage of the Houston Oilers. Down leading the charge, Ray Wallace, an Indianapolis native. So Indianapolis will take over at its own 18-yard line. Hogeboom comes off a poor performance in New England. He had 3 interceptions. Dickerson has had 3 straight 100-yard rushing games. Another one today will set a Colts record. He leads the NFL in rushing. And a massive offensive line averaging 291 pounds per man, led by the Pro Bowl performers Hinton and Donaldson. Hogeboom to put it up on first down. Across the middle, wide open to Booza. Matt Booza for a short gain out to the 23-yard line, where he's tackled by Steve Brown. Here's that Houston starting defense. First-round choice Childress, having another fine year, heads that defensive line. The Oilers are hurting at linebacker, especially inside, where Smith and the team leads the AFC with 6 interceptions. 2nd and 4 for the Colts. Pitch it to Dickerson. And Dickerson stopped for a short gain, and a flag flies as he was out of bounds. Grimsley came up to make the tackle, but on the sideline a flag.
Grimsley comes up to make the hit, but he's a little bit overzealous and gets Dickerson out of bounds there. That's one of those things where the guy, you know, is going to get a few yards on you, and you want to make sure that he knows you're around to hit him all day long, and that one you just can't take.
Here's Bob Frederick.
Personal foul on the defense, number 31, for a late hit out of bounds. First down.
So Jeff Donaldson, number 31, is called for the late hit after Grimsley had made the initial contact. Here it is again.
See Dickerson a yard, 2 yards out of bounds. You just can't hit a man out of bounds like that, no matter who he is.
So it gives the Colts a first down at their own 39-yard line. Opening minutes of this game from the Hoosier Dome. Dickerson cuts up. Gets about a 5-yard gain to the 44-yard line. John Grimsley again making the tackle. Grimsley, leading tackler on the year for the Oilers, playing today with sprained ankle ligaments, and are not sure how long he can go.
That's another reason you don't hit a man like Dickerson out of bounds, because he gets mad, then he's going to go crazy on you. He's got that slashing and dashing. He's also very fast and very strong. You see him put his head down there and run over people. He will have a big game today.
There are the numbers on Eric Dickerson against the Oilers. In fact, in the first game this season when he was still with the Rams, he had a good game rushing for over 140 yards. Over 50 on the second play of the game in that. Hogeboom. Complete. Brooks has it for a Colt first down into Oiler territory. Jeff Donaldson and Patrick Allen make a saving tackle, but Brooks coming across the middle wide open for the first down.
Brooks just runs a simple drag pattern. That means he's coming across the middle late. The quarterback gets plenty of time, just dumps the ball over the middle to him. He picks up a big gain there. Last season, Brooks caught 65 passes for over 1,100 yards, so he had a big season.
Ron Meyer with a record of 26-22 in pro football. Hogeboom had a tough game in the rain at New England last week with 3 interceptions. Play action on first down. And complete to Brandis for a gain of about 9 yards on the play. Brandis right against the sideline made the catch, and then Keith Bostic knocked him out of bounds.
Interesting pattern that time. They had one man going deep, and that was Matt Booza. He had man coverage. Hogeboom had good protection, so he dumps the ball off to the flat to Brandis. You see the good protection there. They faked the ball to Dickerson, and everybody's going to respect that fake. Good time. He just can't find the man open, dumps it off into the flat.
Only the 4th reception of the year for the rookie Brandis. Colts with a 2nd and 2 at the 38 of Houston. Bentley dives for a first down. Albert Bentley into the game, giving Eric Dickerson A rest for a play or two and carries for another first down. Johnny Meads finally tripped him up. But Albert Bentley, who is one of the best runners in the AFC in his own right, now the backup to Dickerson, carrying for the first down.
The players are feeling that Albert Bentley is coming around this year. Since that acquisition of Dickerson, he's played a lot better simply by being pushed.
Gained over 500 yards this season. Second leading rusher for the Colts, who have a first down at the 32. Dickerson behind blocking. Takes it down to the 25-yard line. John Grimsley again in there to stop Dickerson. Grimsley is the best against the run of the Houston linebackers, but Dickerson had good blocking that time.
A little delay there. Grimsley is going to make a great play. You see Chris Hinton, number 75. He's leading that, and actually he pushed Grimsley right into that tackle.
This drive for the Colts began at their own 19-yard line. They're now down to the 25 of the Oilers. Hogaboom is perfect on 3 pass attempts, and Dickerson has carried 3 times for 13 yards on this drive. Pitch it back to Dickerson, again with blocking. Hurdles across the 20 for another Colt first down to the 19 of the Oilers, and there's Grimsley again to stack it up.
Grimsley's going to have to be very active today. That's going to be a big key to this game for the Houston Oilers, how well he can stay healthy, how long he can stay healthy. Eric Dickerson gets the good blocking out in front, and he, like we said at the top of the show, he adds that extra dimension. When he gets the ball, there's a possibility that he could score every time.
You saw Ron Sold, number 66, the pulling guard, leading the interference that time. First down for the Colts. They're at the 19 of the Oilers. No score, 11-14 to play first quarter. Hogaboom checking off the play and giving to Dickerson. He's at the 10. Touchdown.
Comes to fruition right here. Eric Dickerson gets the ball, gets the great blocking up front, and then the rest of it is sheer ability. Eric Dickerson will not be taken down by arm tackles. You have got to hit him in the chest and hit him with everybody on the team before he's going to go down.
Matt Booza downfield supplying a good block as Dickerson scores from 19 yards out, capping an 81-yard drive for the Colts. Dean Biasucci will attempt the extra point. Ron Stark the holder. Biasucci now 14 for 14 in extra points this season, and Dickerson leads the Colts on an 81-yard drive. Indianapolis breaks on top 7-0. Eric Dickerson toting the ball 5 times on that drive for 38 yards, including the 19-yard touchdown scamper. And the Indianapolis Colts, with a long drive on their first possession, march down the field to get the touchdown. A very impressive drive.
Very impressive indeed. There's one thing that Eric Dickerson has caused this team to do, and that's believe that they can win every game. Whereas before he got here, they used to just go out and hope they didn't get blown out of the game.
So Warren Moon over on the Oilers sideline, snapping on the chin strap and ready to come on the field as the Oilers will have their first possession after Biasucci kicks it off for the Colts. Curtis Duncan is deep for Houston. Duncan's going to chase it down almost at the sideline. Going to try to reverse his field. He cuts up and is tripped up at the 13-yard line. Terry Wright made a good tackle, a shoestring tackle, and Houston is backed up on its first possession. Here's the offensive lineup for Houston. Warren Moon had a nightmare game against Cleveland a week ago. Almost as many interceptions, 4, as completions, 5. Rozier is the top ground gainer on the team, and Givens the leading receiver. On the offensive line, guards Munchak and Hill, the Pro Bowl performers. Houston will get a chance when we come back. Sliding a reserve Colt linebacker down on special teams, shaken up on the kickoff and being helped to the sideline. 2-year veteran out of Texas. So here's Houston with its first offensive possession, starting from its own 14-yard line. Here's Warren Moon. Jerry Glanville told us yesterday, try to give Moon some confidence early with some runs, some short passes. This is the pitch. It's to Rozier, who has flipped at the line of scrimmage. Falls forward to about the 16-yard line. Maybe got 2 on the play. Jerome Salley made the tackle. As you see, the Colt defensive line, 2 former first-round choices, Thompson and Hand, splitting Salley on that defensive front. Colt linebackers of strength. Bickett, the team's leading tackler. Odom and Krause tied for second place in that department. The secondary, though, can be a problem. Interesting note, Tullis is a former Oiler who led Houston in interceptions back in '83 and '84. 2nd and 9 for the Oilers. Moon, plenty of protection, drops it short, complete to Wallace, who takes it to the 21-yard line. Cliff Odom making the stop for the Indianapolis Colts. Wallace is a native of Indianapolis. He was an All-American high school player at Indianapolis North Central High School. 10-minute ticker. You see that the Jets break on top of Cincinnati. Ken O'Brien with a pass to Freeman McNeil in that one. Brent Fullwood scoring the touchdown for Green Bay. The only 2 teams on the board, except for Indianapolis, who scored on its first possession here to lead 7-0. 3rd and 3 for the Oilers. Moon to Rozier. Gets outside. He's got the first down and dives out of bounds around the 40-yard line. Freddie Robinson, the rookie, finally nudged him out of bounds, but Rozier got the corner and took it to the 39. A gain of 18 yards in the play.
That's exactly what the Houston Oilers needed. They don't want Moon to have to throw the ball early in this game, so they run with a draw, get the ball to Rozier going on the outside. You see just a slide draw to the outside. Plenty of good blocking, and just nobody in front of him picks up the first down.
So the Oilers, starting at their own 14-yard line, have advanced it all the way to their own 39, where they have their initial first down of the contest. Rozier across the middle and gets about 5 yards to the 45-yard line. Barry Krause, the veteran inside linebacker of the Colts, making the tackle. Krause with 62 stops coming into this game. The former first-round draft choice, a 9-year veteran out of Alabama. And on the sideline, Jeff Lighting being tended to. Looks like it's his left knee.
Well, you hate to see any of those knee injuries. Along with that, Barry Krause is coming back from extensive knee surgery a couple of years ago, and he's made a great comeback to be in this lineup today.
2nd and 6 for Houston. Wallace might have left too early. The Oilers, Moon's pass is batted back in his face and incomplete. Jerome Salley got the hand up to knock the ball away. There's Salley, number 76, 6 years out of Missouri. Came to the Colts in a trade from the Giants this year.
But the Indianapolis Colts are going to get a lot of good pressure simply because of what Dickerson's done.
Illegal motion, the call against the Houston Oilers. The penalty is declined by Indianapolis, setting up a 3rd and 6 for Warren Moon and company.
I was giving credit to this Indianapolis defense, giving it to Eric Dickerson. The reason I'm doing that is because he has added that dimension of confidence in the whole team that we can win. We don't have to go out and hope we can win.
Jerry Glanville on the sideline. Houston converted on a 3rd down a few moments ago. And they try it to Rozier again, and once again, he is close to the first down. It should be enough right at midfield. Barry Krause putting the stop on Rozier, but they went to him again on 3rd down, and again Rozier comes through.
They're running what almost looks like a Statue of Liberty. Warren Moon goes back like he's going to pass the ball, and he hands off at the last second to Rozier, who's coming around on almost a trap, almost a draw. He lowers the head and picks up the first down.
Another injury, with this time Freddie Robinson of the Colts is down on the field as Rozier gets a welcome drink after carrying 4 times for 30 yards. There's Freddie Robinson, the rookie out of Alabama. We'll take a break here with Indianapolis leading Houston 7-0. Back at the Hoosier Dome, where Freddie Robinson wonders if anybody got the number of this truck that ran over him.
It looked like that whole team hit him. Rozier hit him first. Barry Krause, you see, gets a piece of him, and you always hate when your own teammate hurts you.
Robinson helped to the sideline and replaced by Mike Pryor. First down. Moon goes on the short pass, completed to Rozier. He's into Indianapolis territory down to the 46-yard line, where Barry Krause makes another tackle with help from Johnny Cooks.
Getting a little bit of extracurricular activity out there. Big Bruce Davis is involved with Donnell Thompson.
Fullwood scoring that Green Bay touchdown. And an O'Brien pass for the Jets. Here's St. Louis on the board, leading Atlanta. Here at the Hoosier Dome, 7-0 Colts with 8:02 to play in the first quarter. The Colts drove down the field 82 yards on their first possession. The Oilers took over at their own 14, and now they're at the 46 of the Colts with 2nd and 6. Rozier powers forward close to the first down. All right, let's go to Bob Costas now in New York for an update.
Okay, Tom, here's that Jet touchdown you mentioned off the play action fake. It's Ken O'Brien over the middle of Freeman McNeil. Look at that little dance step. He cuts to the outside, beats a couple of defenders to the flag. Touchdown, Jets. That capped a 65-yard opening drive, and the Jets lead Cincy 7-0.
The Jets, one of the 5 teams tied for first or tied for last in the East, whichever you prefer, with Indianapolis, and the Colts leading Houston 7-0 here in the first quarter.
I think the fans of both of these teams would like to think they were all tied for first. Jerry Glanville, you see there, would like to think that his team would be almost in first place after this game, the Houston Oilers.
They're a game behind Cleveland, and Cleveland must play at San Francisco. Cleveland, of course, bombed Houston last week 40-7. It is a first down for Houston. That pass is deflected. Incomplete. There is a flag on the play.
I think we've got some illegal motion on the left side of that line. Ernest Givens jumped just a tish before the ball was snapped.
Bob Frederick does indicate illegal motion against the Houston Oilers.
You know, I can sense, I played with Moon in college for 3 years. I can sense that right now he wants to go deep. He wants to go for that home run. But Jerry Glanville is going to hold the reins on him and keep him short, keep him throwing those short passes and running Rozier up the middle.
Illegal motion on the offense. Number 81 was moving, and the penalty will be refused. There will be second down.
Givens, number 81, guilty of the infraction, which is declined by the Colts, and it's 2nd and 10. What about Warren Moon? What sort of player is he around his teammates? Is he the inspirational type, the holler guy, or is he a quiet sort of leader?
Moon's very quiet. He leads by example. He does not get out there and cheer you on. He's going to go and do the best he can, but he's a very quiet person, very private.
2nd and 10. Rozier, good blocking up the middle. He's across the 35 to the 34-yard line. Johnny Cooks makes the stop there, but a second down running play, and again they go to Rozier, and he gets a good gain on the 10th play of the drive for the Houston Oilers.
The Houston offensive line is doing a good job. They're coming back, setting up for pass, and then running almost a trap play up the middle where they're giving the ball to Rozier. He's picking his hole, and he's picking a good hole at all times so far.
Rozier, 6 carries for 42 yards. A pretty good ground battle between Rozier and Dickerson developing here. And the Houston Oilers faced with a 3rd and 4 after that 6-yard gallop by Rozier. Moon retreats to pass. Goes deep for the end zone. Incomplete. Intended for Drew Hill with Eugene Daniel covering, but Hill was behind him. The pass just a little too long.
That's what Moon likes to do. He likes to go deep, and he likes to go deep to Givens or Drew Hill. Both of them have good speed. That time Moon just simply outthrew Drew Hill. He could not catch up with the ball. Moon is very active in the pocket. He sets his feet good, gets his composure, throws the ball, but unfortunately for the Houston Oilers, just a little bit too long for Drew Hill to catch up with.
So on 4th down, Tony Zendejas is on to attempt a field goal for the Houston Oilers. It'll be a 53-yard attempt. Zendejas has been hot, though. His longest this year is 52. He's hit 14 of 17 this season. The long attempt for Zendejas, and it is short and no good.
There's a penalty flag down. A late penalty flag.
Bob Frederick conferring with his officiating team as the Colts and Oilers gather around to listen in.
The Houston players are pointing back at the Colts, saying that they did something after the ball was kicked. There's been a lot of scuffles after every play so far between the Houston Oilers and the Indianapolis Colts players. There's some animosity out on the field. You can sense it. where you would hate to be a guy who did something stupid at this point in the game. You just dodged a bullet.
Unsportsmanlike conduct on the defense, and it will be a first down and 10 with a 15-yard penalty.
There is a gigantic break.
Unreported.
He said the number was unreported, so we really don't know what happened, but a gigantic break for the Houston Oilers, who get a first down now and keep the drive going. They'll spot the ball inside the Colt 20. Jerry Glanville's team just getting a huge break on the unsportsmanlike conduct.
Jerry Glanville celebrating a late Thanksgiving.
And the number unreported, so we really can't tell you what happened. In any event, the Houston Oilers with a first down at the 19-yard line of the Colts. I formation in the backfield. Rozier is the tailback. He gets the pitch. Wallace with a block. Rozier will try to cut it up. And he gets back to the line of scrimmage, and that's all. Donnell Thompson at the bottom of the stack for the Colt defense.
Nesby Glasgow made that play. He lined up at strong safety, but he came up towards the end of the line on the right side, and he comes in, and you'll see him force that play, number 25, right there, forces Rozier outside, and then the inside pursuit comes up and makes the play for no gain. But it was a good defensive play. It seems like the Colts have a nice defensive game plan set up so far.
There's Glasgow, another teammate of Warren Moon and Michael Jackson is at the University of Washington. 2nd and 10. Moon's pass, batted down again. That's the third time on this first drive that the Colts have knocked Moon's pass to the ground. This time, 6'7" John Hand did it.
John Hand gets his hand up there and he knocks the ball down, pardon that pun. But Moon was going for Jamie Williams on that play, a little quick slant. And had he been going for Ernest Givens, he might have gotten 6. You see John Hand jump up, get the big paw in front of the ball. But Ernest Givens is running down the sideline just unattended for the touchdown. Moon didn't see it.
John Hand, the 4th player taken in the 1986 draft, the All-American from Alabama, having a good year for the Colts. 3rd and 10 for Houston. You see the clock approaching 5:20. We're in the first quarter. Indianapolis up 7-0. Plenty of time for Moon. Now he scrambles, tosses it incomplete for Rozier. Moon had room to run, decided to flip it to Rozier. And it goes incomplete, bringing up another 4th down and another field goal attempt.
That goes along with what Jerry was telling us yesterday. The Moon is a little bit frustrated lately. That time it appeared that he could have run for the first down. Instead, he tried to give it up to Rozier, and now they got to go for the field goal.
Normally he's a good runner. He's the 4th leading rusher, in fact, on this Houston team with 101 yards on the season. This field goal attempt by Zendejas, 37 yards. Johnson, the punter, is the holder, and the kick is blocked. Byron Darby blocked the kick by Zendejas, and so the Colts, despite the penalty that gave Houston a first down, hold the Oilers without any points. So it'll be the Colt offense coming on the field. They lead 7-0.
America's favorite pass.
Field goal blocked by Eugene Daniel on the extreme left in the blue jersey. Watch him come through.
Does it just perfectly. Lays out there, gets those hands out, and knocks the ball down. Big play. They don't get any bigger than that.
Darby then picked it up, and leading 7-0. The Colts have it at their own 25. Bentley takes it for about 2 or 3 yards before Richard Byrd downs him at the 27-28 yard line. We'll see where they spot it at the 27.
Going back to that blocked field goal, you get Houston down to that point. You give them a chance at a field goal. They missed the first field goal. You get a 15-yard penalty. They get the drive started again. You stop them, then you block the field goal. That's going to go a long ways in making this Colt team believe even more in themselves.
2nd down play. Bentley is in for Dickerson. Hogaboom's pass bounces right off the pads of Pat Beach. Beach had it, it would seem. John Grimsley was covering him, and it bounced right off the shoulder pad of Beach. You could hear it all the way up here.
That's one of those things that Beach started to run before the ball was firmly locked away, and before he even caught the ball, he was going to go upfield and try to pick up big yards.
Ron Meyer stalking the sideline. Jack Trudeau with a headset on, number 10, the backup quarterback. And there's Eric Dickerson with his trademark goggles sitting this series out. Bentley has replaced him. 3rd and 8 for the Colts. Hogaboom's pass incomplete, a little too tall for Bill Brooks.
Well, those are the kind you hate, when they throw that ball up there too high, and Donaldson just laid him out. But he does get up. Billy Brooks gets up. I'm really surprised he got up that time.
Brooks, a fine receiver, and he and Gibbons have sort of a personal duel going, the second-year men.
Donaldson, you can't see it here, but Donaldson was licking his chops all the way on that one. That's the kind you love to catch a receiver stretched out like that.
Gibbons of the Oilers, Brooks of the Colts, each over 1,000 yards receiving in their rookie years a year ago, and their stats remarkably similar through their short careers thus far. Stark, who's been in a slump, is on to kick on 4th down. Johnson takes it and is hit, but it'll be a good field position for Houston as John Holt stops him at about the 48-yard line. Only a 33-yard kick by Ron Stark, who has really been in a slump. He was the Pro Bowl kicker for the AFC a year ago. They got 5 yards on the return. Good field position for the Oilers.
Atlanta has come back to tie St. Louis 7-7.
New Orleans at Three Rivers Stadium leading the Steelers 3-0.
Well, the New Orleans Saints, they should be in the playoffs this year. This would be their first winning season in quite a while. I think the first time in the history of the team.
Never finished above 500 have the Saints. First down at the 47 for the Houston Oilers. Moon has a man complete right at the first down marker, a gain of 10. The grab made by Willie Drury, and Willie Tullis immediately makes the stop, the former Oiler player.
Houston's running some kind of funny offense. They're sending a running back in motion probably a second and a half before the ball is snapped, which is legal. They can go sideways. They just can't go forward. But they're sending a guy in motion right before the ball snapped to see what kind of defense they're going to get out of the Colts.
Measurement shows it is a first down for Houston by about half the length of the football. Houston with a razzle-dazzle sort of offense. You never know what to expect. And Jerry Glanville in a preseason game against the Colts won it and really mixed up their defenses that day. So the Colts know that they have to be prepared for anything when they face the offense of the Houston Oilers. Jeff Lighting, the reserve linebacker of the Colts, has torn ligaments, and he's out for the rest of the game. Rozier picks his way forward for about 3 yards, stopped at the 40 by John Hand.
That defensive line for the Colts is a tough foe to go against. You got Donnell Thompson in there, Jerome Sally, and John Hand. Those are some big guys up front. It's hard to get around them if you're going to run straight at them. They play the run very well, and especially John Hand. He's coming from Alabama, and all they do is run in that conference.
6'7", 298 pounds. Sally 6'3", 270, and Thompson 6'4", 275. 2nd and 9. They gave Rozier only a yard in the last play. Boone under pressure gets rid of it to Rozier on the screen. He's tackled after maybe a gain of 1, perhaps to the line of scrimmage is all. Mike Pryor, smelling the screen, got over there to break it up, got away from the blockers, and tripped up Rozier.
Great individual effort by Pryor on that one, because you get out one-on-one with Mike Rozier. Warren Moon is so strong. Watch him get away from the rush here. Most other quarterbacks may have gone down, but he gets rid of the ball to no avail. A great play there. Pryor sheds the block and then makes a nice play on Rozier to make sure that he doesn't get any yards on that play.
Pryor, one of the replacement players for the Colts, leads them in interceptions with 4. 3rd and 10 for Houston. Indianapolis with its nickel defense in. Warren Moon's pass is complete. Penalty flags down. It looked like the Colts had too many men on the field. Drew Hill makes the grab for a first down. Mike Pryor pins him to the turf there. And we'll check the penalty flags. The Colts came in with their nickel defense, perhaps their dime defense, and they had one player too many. They had a dollar defense on there.
That's what it looked like. They had a $1.50 maybe.
There were 12 men on the field for the defense, and it was a completed pass. So the penalty will be refused.
So Jim Perryman perhaps was the extra man, even against 12. Moon hits for a 19-yard gain.
In a preseason games, 51 out of 62 plays that they had, the Indianapolis Colts lined up in a nickel defense.
Has to be discouraging when you have 12 men on the field and you still can't stop.
Hey, you got to go back to the drawing board for sure then.
At the 23-yard line, the Oilers have a first down. They trail 7-0, just over 2 minutes left in the first quarter. Rozier inside the 20, down to the 18-yard line, where Donnell Thompson finally stops him.
That little delayed draw may be the only play that the Oilers practiced this week. They had one heck of a time trying to get a practice facility lined up this past week with all the high school playoffs and whatnot.
And bad weather and tractor pulls in the Astrodome. In fact, their last practice the day before the game yesterday was in the ballroom of the hotel.
They were out dancing in the ballroom with us.
The Hoosier Dome had high school playoffs, and it was raining outside, so they practiced in the ballroom of the hotel. 2nd and 6 for the Oilers here. Moon's pass is complete to the 13-yard line. Drew Hill with another grab, and Mike Pryor immediately tackles him, and it'll be a little short of the first down. Well, perhaps it's close enough to measure. We'll see.
John Hand, you see him on the right-hand side of your screen. Moon has a great field vision right there because the offensive line for the Houston Oilers just cleared the middle of that field out. They were just wide open down the middle. He didn't have a hand in his face. Moon seems to be throwing the ball a little bit low. That's why he's gotten, what, 2 or 3 of them knocked down already today.
Well, by a matter of inches, it is a first down. So Houston does have a first down at the 13-yard line of the Indianapolis Colts. A minute left in the first quarter. Indianapolis leading 7-0. This Houston drive set up by the short punt by Ron Stark, only 33 yards. They try it on the ground and get it to the 10 with Alan Pinkett on the carry, the former Notre Dame player who was just activated a couple of days ago, just off injured reserve. He gets the carry and is stopped by Sally and Hand on the front of that defensive unit of the Indianapolis Colts.
Indianapolis is playing very tough right down here inside the 20. They're going to play very tough.
Spot the ball just inside the 11. It's 2nd and 8 for the Oilers. Just 12 seconds left in the quarter. Moon for the end zone. Incomplete. Ernest Givens battling in the corner of the end zone for it. Couldn't make the grab as he was going out of bounds with Eugene Daniel covering on the play. That'll bring the first quarter to an end. So Ernest Givens trying to work on Daniel. Moon found him, but he couldn't hold it and will walk to the other end of the field. At the end of the first quarter, it's Indianapolis 7, Houston nothing. Coming up for the Oilers after this play in the end zone.
Most quarterbacks throw the ball a little bit higher. You see Moon put a lot of zip on it. It hit Givens in the hand. He just couldn't hang on to it. But most quarterbacks throw a timing pattern down there. They loft it up. They let the receiver run underneath the ball. Instead, Moon put the zip on it, put it where he had to because Daniel did have good position. Givens just couldn't hang on to it. That
touchdown against Cleveland last week was an 83-yarder, the longest Houston pass play since way back in 1977. In 77, it was Pastorini to Burrow. As you see the first quarter stats, pretty even. A little more passing yardage for the Oilers and total yards in Houston's favor, as is time of possession. But as we know, the Colts, with their first drive covering 82 yards, have a 7-0 lead. The Oilers knocking on the door, though, 3rd and 8 from the 11 of Indianapolis. Pinkett is in the backfield for the Houston Oilers, along with Alonzo Highsmith. Moon for the end zone again. Nobody even close to that one.
That time he lofted it. I think they're going to get pass interference. He did throw that ball up in the air, and there was a late flag. There may be pass interference on Drew Hill.
They say it's going to go against the Oilers, though. It's pass interference against Houston. Always spot Jerry Glanville dressed entirely in black.
What is
Offensive pass interference, number 81, and the penalty will be refused, and it's 4th down.
Givens called for the interference, the offensive interference, bringing up 4th down, and another field goal attempt by Zendejas. He was short on a 53-yarder. He had a 37-yarder blocked. And this time he'll try it from 28 yards.
That'd be a very nervous man if I were him. I missed one and then I had one blocked. I don't know what I'd do now.
But he has been really kicking well. And this one splits the uprights. So from 28 yards, Tony Zendejas gets the Houston Oilers on the board. And with 14:54 left in the second quarter, it's 7-3 Colts.
Today's game is brought to you by the heartbeat of America, today's Chevy truck. By Bud Light, everything else is just a light. And by IBM.
Tom Hammond and Michael Jackson at the Hoosier Dome in Indianapolis, with the Colts leading Houston now 7-3, 14:54 to play in the first half. Tony Zendejas just kicking a 28-yard field goal to get the Oilers on the board. And Lee Johnson kicking off for the Houston Oilers. Bentley deep for Indianapolis. Tries to one-hand it at the goal line. Picks it up on the bounce. And makes a pretty good run out of it. Out to the 23-yard line.
It seems like that always happens. You make a dumb play or some play that you don't expect the guy to make. And he almost breaks it for a touchdown.
Here's your 10-minute ticker. Buffalo on top of Miami. First score in that game. Up at Rich Stadium. St. Louis 14-7. Lomax with a touchdown pass for the Cardinals. Here's Gary Hogeboom on for the Colts. Their first drive, they went 82 yards for a touchdown. Second drive, 3 plays and a punt. Eric Dickerson, who sat out that second possession, is in the backfield and the only setback. Brandis in motion. Fake it to Dickerson. Hogeboom with plenty of time. Completes the pass to Brandis, who's knocked down at the 30-yard line. Got 5 or 6 yards on the play, and Keith Bostic really stuck him at the 30.
When Keith Bostic caught him on the other side of the field, Brandis was not looking for anybody. He had just gotten the ball from Hogeboom, and he laid a big lick on him. Good blocking up front. He's got plenty of time to look around the field and find the receiver, and then when he found that receiver was hoping that he had not found him because Bostic was right there.
2nd and 4 for the Colts. This time they give it to Dickerson, looking for room, makes a nice cut, and then is wrapped up as he tries to get outside. Keith Bostic, who came up, didn't go for the fake and just put the clamps on Dickerson.
There's one thing talking to the offensive linemen is that they have got to hold their blocks a little bit longer. Bostic, you see the strong safety coming up. He's going to just read Dickerson, keep his feet still, and then get into pursuit and make the big play there. But the offensive linemen have got to hold their blocks a little bit longer because Dickerson could come back and forth 2 or 3 times before he got down the line of scrimmage.
We lost 2 on that one. It's 3rd and 6. Hogeboom pumps, and then fires. He's got his man. Bentley at the 20. Touchdown. On a 72-yard touchdown strike from Hogeboom.
Gary Hogeboom, that pump fake did it. He caught Bentley on a one-on-one coverage against Johnny Meads, laid it out there just perfectly, and from there on it was history.
6th touchdown of the season scored by Bentley, 72 yards. Donaldson made a grab at him, couldn't catch him, and he went in for the score. Biasucci will try to tack on the extra point. It's good. So the Indianapolis Colts strike quickly, covering 76 yards on only 3 plays with a 72-yard pass. And watch
that little move there, the little outside move and a pump fake by Hogaboom, which we couldn't see there, and then all he's got to do is catch it and run.
Perfect coordination on the timing, and the Colts on top 14-3. We're back at the Hoosier Dome, and the fans in a party mood here after the Colts strike quickly to get their second touchdown of the game. That one on the long pass from Hogaboom to Bentley, and it was the pump fake that really made it look good. You see Duncan deep for the Oilers as they're ready to receive the kickoff. Houston has had the ball many more minutes in this first half, but they trail 14-3. The kick by Biasucci, taken by one of the up men. Fumble.
Oh, my.
Ball's loose. Pinkett fumbled it, and Indianapolis recovers. Here it is again. Pinkett just activated, coughs it up, and it'll be Dave Aarons that falls on it, number 57 for the Indianapolis Colts.
Things just aren't going right for Houston Oilers, and that's just proof that when it rains, nothing goes right. You know, forget when it rains, it pours. When it rains, nothing goes right for you.
And it is raining outside, although here in the Hoosier Dome, we're safe and warm. And as you see, in 1987, the Colts with a +7 to the Oilers -3, a big advantage in the takeaway giveaway department for the Colts. On the reverse, here's Bentley. Squirming his way down to the 12-yard line. Patrick Allen finally making a tackle there, but it'll go for a Colt first down.
You know, on that play right there, they fake the handoff to Eric Dickerson, then you give it to Bentley coming around. The defenders don't know who to go with. You've got Bentley coming in motion. The fake to Dickerson there, he's going to draw a lot of people away from him. And then Bentley's got it. Nobody's on that side for at least a first down for him.
Further proof that the presence of Eric Dickerson opens up a lot of things for your offense.
Oh, there's so much more you can do when you have a great back like that in your backfield.
Dickerson, the only man behind Hogaboom now. First down at the 13 of the Oilers. Here is Dickerson. At the 5. Touchdown.
You think this city is not going to fall in love with Eric Dickerson? 2 touchdowns and 7 carries already. This goes back to show what we were talking about, that slashing style of running. That play was supposed to go to the right. He cut it all the way back to the left, and there's nobody home.
Finally, one little hop into the end zone, and Dickerson has his second touchdown of the afternoon. Biasucci will try the extra point. And it's good. The Colts take advantage of the fumbled kickoff and get another touchdown run from Dickerson. And the Colts lead it 21-3 with 12:19 left in the second. We're back again in the Hoosier Dome where things are rocking for the Colt fans. They're up 21-3. We hope everyone has had a pleasant Thanksgiving holiday. And, of course, the Colts had a little scam for the rookies during the holidays.
Oh.
They had a list to sign up for free turkeys, and everybody signed up. And then the rookies went to some place out in the middle of the wilds looking for the place to pick up the turkeys, and there wasn't anything there. Did you veterans ever do that to the poor rookies?
We used to get the stores in Seattle area lined up and say that they would give away a free turkey. And when the rookies would show up, we'd have a camera there and say that they were the turkey.
The Oilers mishandled the kickoff again. A flag down. Duncan had trouble getting the handle on the kickoff and finally went out of bounds. And we'll see what the penalty marker is about. John Holt was down there for the Colts. Yeah, they had the rookies driving around the country looking for the fictitious grocery store and the fictitious free turkeys.
Kickoff, out of bounds.
Well, apparently Duncan didn't pick it up before it went out of bounds, so Jerry Glanville's team evading another mistake there. I thought that Duncan, number 80, had mishandled it.
It looked like he did, but apparently, like you said, he did not even get to the ball, which is very dangerous anyway.
The rule, place the ball on the 35-yard line, first down and 10.
And that's the new rule this year. They get it at the 35-yard line.
The Colts were down there. They could have gotten that ball before it got out of bounds and recovered it and then blown the Oilers out of the city, let alone this game.
Got one more word about the turkey scam of the Colts. They had a couple of the interns in the publicity department who took pennants and other Colt memorabilia trying to get bigger turkeys. So they really swallowed the bait.
Yeah, they go crazy around Thanksgiving and Christmas. And you know what's so bad about it? It's so well publicized. You hear about it when you're in college, what they did to rookies that year. And once you get into the pro ranks, you fall for that same trick.
Evidently, the replay booth took a look at that kickoff. As there was some confusion, we thought it had been handled, but apparently not. They looked at it on replay, and the call remains as it is. First down for the Oilers at the 35 after the kickoff went out of bounds. The Oilers have had the ball over 10 minutes in the game to only 7 minutes for the Colts. But the Colts have gotten more done with their time. They're up 21-3. Rozier trying to pick his way forward, gets only a couple of yards before Donnell Thompson stacks him up. Gets a lot of help from his blue-shirted teammates to take Rozier down.
Well, right now everybody's swarming to get to that ball and get a piece of the tackle.
McMahon hitting Anderson with a touchdown pass for the Bears, and for Philadelphia, Cunningham has thrown for a touchdown and scored a touchdown himself since we checked that score. See the other scores from around the league today. Second and 8. We understand the replay officials didn't have a good enough angle to reverse the call, so it remains as called. There's the first. No, it's incomplete. I thought that the catch had been made by Givens, but they ruled it incomplete with Eugene Daniel, number 38, covering for the Colts.
Well, they say he trapped the ball, and the sideline judge said that he trapped it. I'm not so sure about that myself.
It would have been enough for a first down.
I thought he caught that myself.
But instead, it'll bring up a third down. Here it is again.
Again, you see Moon's ball in there. He caught it. It's a matter of whether he held on to it. And it doesn't look, maybe the official didn't think he held on to it because the ball was definitely high enough. Those are the frustrating plays there as a quarterback. When you throw the ball in a guy's hands and he drops that ball, those are the kinds of plays that you cannot live with because you're always going to overthrow or underthrow him. But when you hit him on the hands, you expect him to catch it.
Givens is in motion on 3rd and 8. Moon on the option. Pitches to Rozier. Lowers his head and dives close to the first down. It'll depend on the spot of the football. Mike Pryor covered Rozier as they run the option.
They ran that play in the ballroom. I don't know if you noticed it yesterday. They were running that in the ballroom. I thought they were just joking around with it.
They're spotted right on the 45-yard line as you watch it again. Moon reads and pitches.
Nice little pitch there. It's not like Nebraska or Oklahoma, but it does get the job done right now.
What kind of offense did you run at the University of Washington when Moon was there?
We ran an I formation where Moon would throw the ball or hand off to Joe Steele, and Joe Steele would do a lot of the things that Dickerson would do. That's cut back on the delayed draw.
The measurement shows that Houston, by half the length of the football, does have a first down. So Rozier on the option toss from Moon picks up a first down. A reminder that we will be selecting a Budweiser Most Valuable Player in today's game. That comes up at the conclusion of the contest. Freddie Robinson, the free safety, the starter for the Colts, has a sprained ankle. He's out of there. Rozier cuts it back as a penalty flag flies. Got about 8 yards on the carry. Mike Pryor, and with another stop with help from Barry Krause. But it'll be a holding call against the Oilers. Glanville says he wears that black outfit so that his players can easily pick him out of the crowd, but I think he just likes that black image. I think he likes to be the man, the bad guy.
Number 77, and the down will be repeated. The first down.
Bruce Davis was guilty of the hold, number 77. He said, who, me?
Bruce Davis. I know Bruce was holding. He played at UCLA when I was at Washington. You see him right there on the left side of your screen. Bruce going down the line of scrimmage. I don't know. hold. Maybe Bruce was right that time. Maybe that for once he didn't hold, but he was at UCLA when I was at Washington. He also got picked up by the Raiders, so I had to play against him in the AFC West.
Makes it 1st and 20 from the 35-yard line for Houston. Boone's pass. Incomplete. Out of bounds was Givens. Made the catch, but didn't have his feet in bounds. Willie Tullis was there covering.
I think Willie Tullis has seen that play a couple of times. He used to play with the Oilers, as you said before. Ernest Givens is pushing him off. Got him turned around real good, but Tullis stayed right with him and Moon threw the ball a little bit too far to the outside.
Tullis was out of football in 1986. Played for New Orleans in '85 and for Houston before that. Opened his NFL career with a kickoff return for a touchdown.
Not a bad way to start it out.
Houston 2nd and 20. Givens in motion. Moves pass, intercepted, and then fumbled. And I believe Houston has it back at the 15-yard line. Johnny Cooks intercepted the ball, and on his way to the end zone, he forgot to take it with him. He fumbled it, and Houston recovers at the 15.
Very interesting play. The Colts have their nickel defense in there, but they have Johnny Cooks in there, and they also have Dwayne Bickett as some of the down linemen. The ball's just batted up there, and a nice defensive play to come up with it. You see he took 2 steps with it, so that does mean that he had possession. And fortunately enough for the Oilers, they get it back.
I don't know if you could hear Bob Frederick or not, but he was saying just what we told you, that it was an interception and a fumble. Johnny Cooks out of Mississippi State batted the ball down, picked it off, but then fumbled it. And that's what, the 4th or 5th time today they've batted down Moon's pass at the line of scrimmage.
Exactly.
Well, it'll be a 1st down for Houston on the exchange of possession. They have the ball at their own 15. Nothing there for Alonzo Highsmith. The rookie out of Miami is wrapped up by Bickett and Cooks, the outside linebackers.
This Houston offense is just totally impotent right now. They cannot run the ball. They're not passing the ball. The best thing they could do is punt it, but they're afraid to punt the ball right now because they've already had a field goal block, too.
They lost 3 yards on that play to Highsmith, and it's 2nd and 12. Lost 2, I guess. 2nd and 12 officially from the 13-yard line. Pinkett and Highsmith in the backfield behind Warren Moon. He sends Givens wide to the right. Hill is wide to the left. Across the middle, intended for Givens. Oh, that was a great catch. Great catch at the 30, just off the shoe tops by Ernest Givens. Not much Nesby Glasgow could do but fall on Givens, who picked it right off the turf.
Moon sends 2 receivers deep, and then he drags again. He drags Givens underneath. Good protection up front. You see Givens going at the top of your screen there with Glasgow on him. Moon puts it exactly where it has to be. I'm not so sure. Yeah, Nesby did put a hand on him because he could have gotten up and run for big yardage on that. But that was a nice play. Moon needed that one. The Oilers needed that 1st down.
Givens and Brooks, 2 of the best young receivers in the game with remarkably similar statistics. And that was a sensational catch by Ernest Givens, the 2nd-year player out of Louisville. Moon with time again, across the middle again to Givens. Ducks 1 tackler, gets a couple of more yards before he's slammed to the turf. He's game, I'll say that.
He's game, and there's a lot of hard hitting going on out there. He may not get up after this one, though.
He's getting up slowly. He's getting a call from Houston right now.
They've got Nesby Glasgow, a strong safety, covering him. They must have their nickel package, and Nesby plays corners, safeties, and free safety. But Moon puts this ball again right where it had to be. Givens comes up with the catch. You see at the top of your screen there. And then he ducks under Nesby's tackle there. And everybody gets a shot at him now. But watch Sally come in and put the big hit on him right here.
And you hear the crowd perhaps react as they showed it on the big screen here at the Hoosier Dome. It was Jerome Sally at 6'3", 270 pounds. Wide receivers aren't used to those kind of guys hitting them. They're used to the defensive backs who are a little smaller.
That's right. The coaching staffs have always told the the defensive line, when the ball is complete or when something's behind you, go back down the field and pursue the ball, because you can get a hit like that and you may also cause a fumble.
There's Givens walking off. Apparently just shaken up, not seriously injured. Watch it again. This is the tough spot for the receivers across the middle. You know you're going to get hit. He ducks under one tackle, but just sets him up for the kill.
That's right. Now he's 10 to 15 yards downfield. And you've got to remember that Sally is all the way back upfield, so he gets a full shot at him and just levels him at the end of the play.
First down, though, for the Houston Oilers. They're trying to get something going. They move the ball up and down the field, but have only 3 points to show for it. 8 minutes to play in the second quarter. 21-3 Colts. Rozier back in for the Oilers. Moon's pass again across the middle and again open for a first down. Making the catch that time, Drew Hill, with Eugene Daniel finally stopping him, but another first down for the Oilers. They're really getting a lot of room across the middle.
Well, Drew Hill's going to go downfield and just make a simple end cut. The thing that opens this up is that the linebackers are being sucked up off the play fake, and they're biting on it for whatever reason. They're up by 18 points, but they're going to leave that middle open for Drew Hill to catch that one.
Drew Hill, second leading receiver behind Gibbons on this team. First and 10 at the 37. On the ground this time, Rozier shakes the tackler and finally takes it to the 32-yard line. Nesby Glasgow comes up to put the hit on him.
What's interesting about this Colt defense is that they do have, 7 first-rounders on there. Nesby's not one of them, but they've got Barry Krause, who I played against in a couple of All-Star games, played against him when he was at Alabama, and they beat us like we stole something those 2 times. And everybody's trying to get to that ball. Nobody has really heard about this Colt team until this year with the acquisition of Eric Dickerson.
2nd and 5 for Moon, who's hit on 8 of 19 passes, 94 yards, and has had 1 picked off. Again, he finds a man open. That time Moon threaded the ball, put it right where it needed to be, and got another first down grab from Drew Hill. Eugene Daniel gets credit again for the tackle, but another first down pass from Moon to Hill.
Well, again, he's going to run the little pass to Drew Hill on the outside, just a simple step out. It's a 3-step drop. Drew Hill gets downfield so fast that he's out in the clear, and Moon did thread the ball there. He threw into double coverage, but that time it turned out successful for him.
21-3 with just over 6 minutes left in the first half from the Hoosier Dome. That last play covering 14 yards. It's first down at the 17 for the Oilers. Rozier comes back the other way. Can he get outside? Turns the corner. Out of bounds inside the 10 of the Colts. Willie Tullis forced him out of bounds. The play designed to go left, and a la Dickerson a few moments ago, Rozier broke it back the other way.
Those are the kind that you hate as a linebacker, is a guy who can start one side and come all the way back across the field. He sets you up for the blocks. He sets you up, and you've got to stay at home. Then he just sets you up to do whatever he wants to do with you.
Rozier, the Heisman Trophy winner, 1983 from Nebraska. Played in the USFL, came over to Houston, was their #1 rusher last year. #1 rusher this year, and 72 yards already today. First and goal from the 7. Moon for the end zone. Touchdown, Houston. Drew Hill makes the grab right at the corner of the end zone, and Willie Tullis beaten on the play.
They like to throw. I've just figured out they like to throw that little pass where it looks like Moon's throwing the ball behind the receiver. Drew Hill does a 360 here and comes back for this one. They're not. Everybody else is expecting you to loft the ball to lead the receiver, but Moon's going to throw it behind, let the receiver make the 360 move and then catch the touchdown, because they did the same thing with Givens at the end of the first quarter where he dropped it, and now Drew Hill comes up with the touchdown reception.
Zendejas for the extra point. 19 for 19 this year, and now perfect in all 20 attempts. So a beautiful drive engineered by Warren Moon. And the Oilers have their first touchdown to draw closer to the Indianapolis Colts. 5:41 left in the first half. It's Indianapolis 21 and Houston 10. Warren Moon looked good on that drive.
He did look good on that. That's the drive that Warren needed, as well as the Houston Oilers. It means more than just getting back in the game. It gives him the confidence, and it gives the team the confidence in the fact that he can get them down there.
Don't forget, coming up later this afternoon, the Skins game, one of the most popular golf events all year long. And the Skins game featuring Nicholas Trevino, Palmer, Fuzzy Zeller. That's coming up at the end of today's football action. Check your local listings for the time in your area here on NBC.
This is a weird game. There's so many of the people on the field that I played with either as teammates or played against in college.
It's a strange situation to see them play on the field. I know, as we check the other scores, Green Bay back in front of Chicago. They almost beat the Bears a few weeks ago. Buffalo 14-0, bidding for their second win over the Dolphins this year. They won in Miami earlier. Pittsburgh has taken the lead over New Orleans. And here it's now 21-10. The Indianapolis lead. Short kick taken by one of the up men. It's George Wansley. And Wansley advances the ball to the 28-yard line. Hogaboom and company back on the field with a cheer from the 58,000 or so here at the Hoosier Dome. A near sellout crowd today.
You know what they were cheering? There's a guy that comes off the sideline after every kickoff and picks up the kicking tee and runs over and slams himself down on the sideline.
Ron Meyer. A lot of offensive fireworks here in the first half. A 21-10 score. 5.5 minutes left. Dickerson. He's outside. Flag down as Dickerson is taken out of bounds at the 47-yard line. The play was designed to go off tackle. He didn't even head in that direction. Immediately kicked it outside.
Well, that's what scares you about Eric Dickerson. I think he's got everybody on the team because George Wansley did it on the kickoff. He cut back behind where the play was supposed to go. Watch this stop and go. I mean, there's nobody better at this. He stops and then he gets all the way outside, just a 90-degree angle turn, and he's gone outside picking up full speed again.
It will be nullified by a penalty, however. An 18-yard gain wiped out by this infraction.
Personal foul. Illegal crackback on the offense, number 88. Will be first down.
John Brandis, the rookie tight end, with the crackback block. And it wipes out the 18-yard gain for Ron Meyer and his team. Meyer took the New England Patriots to the playoffs in his other stint as a head coach in the NFL. First and 24 for the Colts. Dickerson takes it just shy of the 20-yard line.
Ron Meyer has added something to this team, too. I was talking with some of the players and asked the two big things, Dickerson and Meyer, what have they added? Meyer has added the touch that if Houston scores 5 touchdowns on us today, then that means we've got to score 6. Rather than saying that we've got to hold them from doing this, we have to outdo their team, is all he says to do.
And I think it characterizes both of these teams and their rise from the bottoms of their divisions this year that there's a new philosophy, and they don't give up like they might have in the past. Witness the 2 beatings they took last week. They're back here in good form today. It'll be a pass interference call as Hogaboom's pass intended for Brooks. Patrick Allen collided with Brooks, who went to the turf, and it will be an interference call.
I think that's going to be on offense. It sure is.
It's offensive. You're right, Michael. Offensive call against Brooks, who was the man that went to the turf.
You can't see it here, but Brooks started. He delayed at the line of scrimmage and in hopes that he would get caught up in the traffic. But you do see him bump into Patrick Allen, reach around and try to grab him, make sure he doesn't make that interception, which isn't that bad of a play.
Offensive pass interference, number 80, and the penalty will be declined. It'll be third.
It'll be third down, Bob.
Well, that's a penalty that, as a coach, you can live with because you don't want to give up the ball. If he's going to interfere with the guy and make sure he doesn't intercept it, that's fine.
Well, you remember both players have a right to the football, and Patrick Allen really had the best chance of catching it And Brooks kept him from picking it off, even though he did get the interference call. Hogaboom sends it long, and it's complete to Beach, the tight end, into Oiler territory. No. Now they rule incomplete.
Boy, I'll tell you, that'll be a hard one to prove to me, because it looked like he did catch that ball.
Jeff Donaldson, Domingo Bryant sandwiched Beach after he had a hand on the football, and they'll rule it incomplete. They'll look at this one on replay, I'm sure. You can too.
Hogaboom got hit as he released it, but Beach stretches out like a quarterback likes his man to do. Gets out there. I think he caught that ball. I don't see where it came loose.
There's the replay booth. Frank Sinkovich, the replay official.
Well, he's got his work cut out for him right now. They've already made their minds up.
Michael, I believe he was juggling the ball, was Beach, and never really had it firmly in his grasp, and I think that's the ruling.
Well, I never saw it come down. I never saw it come loose. But apparently Bob Frederick and his crew saw that he did not catch it.
See, right now,
I don't. Oh, yeah.
It's close.
It is close.
Replay confirms it, however, and fourth down. Stark, in his only other punt, got off only a 33-yarder. Kenny Johnson twists his way to midfield. 37-yard kick by Stark that time. 7 yards on the return by Johnson. And the Oilers with great field position. They'll take over at the 50-yard line, trailing 21-10 with 4 minutes 20 seconds left in the second quarter.
That's one of those plays on that alleged reception that you like to see. The officials made their minds up. The replay crew took a look at it. They got the better view of it than we did, than I did at least, and made their decision, so there's no doubt about it. The pass was incomplete.
They'll spot the ball officially back at the 49 of the Oilers when they take over with a first down. Across the middle, Moon has Gibbons again. Ball loose. Indianapolis has it. It's Willie Tullis that falls on it for the Colts. Maybe it's not Tullis. We'll see who it is. It's not Tullis. He's not down at the bottom there. It's going to be somebody else.
We're still trying to sort that out. Moon gets the ball off to Gibbons. A little quick slant in. He's got one-on-one with Nesby Glasgow out there. Gibbons actually left Nesby. Glasgow comes back, puts a big hit on. Then Pryor comes in, gets a shoulder in there. Everybody does, and then you see the scramble for the ball. And apparently the Colts did recover.
And it's Barry Krause, I think, the veteran, that finally came up with the football. Number 55, Krause. They lead the league, the NFL, in fumble recoveries, and they get another one there after Gibbons made a good catch and a good run. And I think it was Pryor's hit that knocked the ball loose.
I believe it was. He did put it in there. He put his shoulder in there along with Nesby Glasgow. But Barry Krause put those big bare arms around the ball, and nobody's going to take it away from him.
Both offenses moving the ball today. Only mistakes have been their undoing. Here's the look into Booza, and he takes it out to the 49-yard line. 21-yard gain, Hogaboom to Booza.
Getting a lot of fireworks going on here. Everybody's going for that little quick slant-in pattern. The Hogaboom did it just then. There's no way to get a rush on there. The only thing you can do is get your hands up. Booza gets the ball, gets down there for a big gain.
Eric Dickerson behind Hogaboom on first down. 3.5 minutes left in the first half. Here's Dickerson. Nothing there that time. They met him as soon as he had the handoff, and he'll lose 3 yards back to the 45. Doug Smith, who got the start at nose tackle in place of Charles Martin today, makes the stop for the Oilers. Jim Kelly with a couple of touchdown passes. 21-0 Buffalo over Miami, a big Eastern Division clash. Philadelphia continues to lead. Pittsburgh extends its lead over the Saints. The Jets are ahead by 10. St. Louis over Atlanta. Here it's 21-10. The Colts just under 3 minutes left in the first half. Hogaboom. Complete to Beach. He's rocked to the turf at the 48 of the Oilers. A short gain. Al Smith, the rookie linebacker out of Utah State, hit him hard at that point. And a scuffle breaks out right at midfield, but not much to it.
Timbers are flaring. This game used to be just one of those also-ran games. It didn't mean very much in the standings, didn't mean very much to either one of the teams. But now, Houston being one game out and the Colts being tied for first, it means a lot right now.
Dickerson walks to the sideline on a third down play, 3rd and 5. And Bentley is in. Remember, Bentley had the long touchdown catch earlier in the game.
I'd look to him going one-on-one again against the linebacker.
Hogaboom's pass deflected, intended for Beach. But Keith Bostic on a safety blitz got a hand up to knock it down. So Hogaboom will go to the sideline and the punting team comes on. We'll take a break with the Colts leading the Oilers 21-10. After the 2-minute warning, 21-10 Indianapolis, and a 4th down. Ron Stark in punt formation for the Indianapolis Colts. 33 yards and 37 yards on his first 2 punts. Got some pressure this time. Taken by Johnson, who's taken to the turf. Good coverage on the play by John Holt on special teams. So in the final 2 minutes or so of the first half, Warren Moon will try to get something on the board. Had a good drive going last time after taking over near the 50, but the fumble by Givens negated any chance for points. And so this time they'll start from their own 18-yard line.
The Oilers can get down and get at least a field goal out of this. This will put them exactly where they want to be back in the game because they do receive the second half kickoff.
3 wide receivers set right here for the Oilers. Moon from the shotgun. Across the middle, incomplete, intended for Hill. Hill had a lot of people around him with Nesby Glasgow the closest. Perryman was also there and had a linebacker helping out as well.
It's one of those dangerous passes as a receiver. You don't mind going over the middle unless there's congestion there, just like there was that time. There were 3 guys in there, and one of them a big linebacker.
2nd and 10 with 1:44 left. The Oilers have all 3 timeouts remaining. Moon 12 of 22 on the day. Got a man wide open. It's Curtis Duncan who takes it to the 40-yard line. 22-yard gain and a first down for the Oilers. Mike Pryor gets the tackle.
He's catching them in man-to-man coverage. Moon can thread the ball in there, and he does.
First one in this half. They have 2 remaining in the half.
And Bob Frederick noting that Houston has taken its first time out, stopping the clock with 1:33 left.
It's one of the things about Warren Moon. He'll get the ball in there. He puts it right in the hands of the receiver coming across the middle, just running a regular pass route, reading to see what the defenders are going to do. Catches the ball, picks up the first down. But if you put too much pressure on Warren Moon in this situation out of the nickel, then you've got your rushers upfield already past him, and he's got enough speed and strength to pick up a first down on his own.
See the timeout situation as Houston continues to throw at will across the middle.
Well, they like throwing it in the middle. They have not gone deep as yet, deep being down the sidelines yet, but they're throwing the ball to where the Colts are giving them the open field, and they're going to take what they give them right now.
2 teams in the thick of the playoff race. The Colts are looking for their first win at home in November since coming to Indianapolis back in 1984. They're 0-8 in the month of November here at the Hoosier Dome.
That's amazing, and this crowd is primed and ready for it today, I'll tell you.
First down for the Oilers. Hand off to Rozier. Cuts it back to the 45-yard line. He got 5 yards on the play, but the clock keeps running. Byron Darby making the tackle for Indianapolis. Play is already called, and Moon lines up in the shotgun. 3 wide receivers to the left. Across the middle again, and complete again. To the 35, the 30. Out of bounds is Haywood Jeffords. Chris Good makes the stop, but it was a 23-yard gain.
Boy, I tell you, he came all the way from across the other side of the field. bobbled the ball and then almost made a big play on the far sideline. Moon lays the ball again in perfectly, a little bit behind him, but he bobbles it, and if he doesn't get pushed barely right here, he's going up the sideline for a big gain.
He's the Swift rookie out of North Carolina State. Caught 111 in college. Second all-time leading receiver for the Wolfpack. First down at the 32.
An option again.
Pitch it back to Rozier. Hurdles a couple of tacklers and totes it to the 25. Mike Pryor again in on the tackle. 5-yard gain and a timeout taken by Houston. So they'll have one timeout left. Clock stops with 59 seconds remaining.
Houston's mixing up on this drive. They mixed the pass and the run very well. They've even thrown in a couple of gadgets. You know, this option is something that I'm sure nobody has really seen. But you've got a good running back, the perfect one, in fact, running it. Rozier ran the option at Nebraska when he's in college.
Rozier has carried 16 times today for 84 yards so far as outgained Dickerson, though Dickerson does have a couple of touchdown runs to his credit. On the ticker, the Bears had tied the Packers at the half. 21-0 the Bills, bidding for a sweep over the Dolphins at halftime. Philadelphia with a 7-point lead on New England. Pittsburgh continues to lead. The Jets over Cincinnati. And St. Louis in front of Atlanta by 10, still playing in the second quarter. And here at the Hoosier Dome, 59 seconds left in the second quarter. It's Indianapolis 21 and Houston 10, but the Oilers knocking on the door from the 26-yard line of the Colts.
Look for the Oilers to go deep on this one, try to get the 6 points right now.
Moon goes out of bounds for a loss in the play of about 5. John Holt chased him out of bounds. What was that?
I don't know what that was. I think they had a mix-up in plays. Rozier broke to the right, Moon went to the left, and they kind of looked at each other and said, well, which way are you going? I'm going out of bounds now.
Lost about 5 yards. The only good thing, it got out of bounds to stop the clock.
Yeah, so they didn't waste the time out there. I don't think it was a busted play. Maybe it was that option again.
Well, he didn't know when to option it to. He was all out there by himself. Perhaps he went the wrong way.
That's right. Your options are these. You have none.
Rozier is set behind Warren Moon. Double wide receivers to either side on 3rd and 9. Moon lets it go as he's hit, and it's incomplete.
Ooh.
Chris Good.
They had the right play call. They had a safety blitz. The Colts had a safety blitz. Moon laid the ball out there for his receiver. Nobody was in the middle, but the ball was overthrown again.
Chris Good was coming and cracked Moon just as he let the ball go. It'll be a long field goal attempt by Zendejas. 49 yards. And the kick is short from 49. So the Oilers miss out on a chance to get a few more points just before the half ends. 44 seconds left. It's 21-10 the Colts, who now take over the football in their own territory. Jerry Glanville's team has been able to move the football. They just haven't been able to get any points.
They've been very effective, let's say, between their own 10 and the Indianapolis 30, but they haven't been able to cross that barrier and get into the end zone except for one time. That mixed play, whether it's an option or not, is the one that hurt them on that drive, however.
Let's see if Indianapolis just elects to kill the clock or whether they try to get some points. They're going to hand the ball to Dickerson. That could be, no, it's not Dickerson, it's Bentley, and Bentley twists forward to the 37-yard line.
They're doing the same thing that I did. When Bentley caught that touchdown, I thought it was Dickerson myself.
Indianapolis does stop the clock with a timeout, so perhaps Ron Meyer is looking for some more points before halftime. He has the ball at his own 37-yard line as he talks to Gary Hogeboom, his quarterback, 8-year veteran out of Central Michigan, who played for the Dallas Cowboys. Remember that controversy with Danny White over who should start when he was with the Cowboys. Colts with 2 timeouts left. Hogeboom has been injury prone. He had injured thumb ligaments to start this season. Also been banged in the ribs. He broke some ribs and missed a game or so. Last year he missed most of the season, but did come back to lead the Colts to victory in the final 3 games of the year.
He was one of the first moves that Ron Meyer made when he got here, was to activate Gary Hogeboom and make him his #1 quarterback. And so far, I'd say it's paid off very well for him.
He's really a team leader, is Hogeboom, a fiery sort of person that is not afraid of the contact. In fact, Ron Meyer says sometimes he's his own worst enemy, that he'll put his nose in there and take a hit when he ought to just duck out of bounds.
Some guys just don't know what's best for them, huh?
2nd and 5 for Indianapolis. Hogeboom lofts it, and it's complete to Brooks. Brooks runs under it, and now they say he was out of bounds. No completion. Brooks, they rule, was out of bounds when he made the catch. Patrick Allen had inside position. Hogeboom lofted it up outside to let Brooks run under it.
If he was out of bounds, the only reason is because he didn't get both feet down. He got one in. He got, it looks like 2 to me.
Right on that sideline. It's really too hard to tell if he was on the edge of it or not.
He got 1 7/8 in.
Depends on the size of that shoe. If it had a smaller size, it would have been okay. Hogeboom has hit 7 of 13 for 130 yards, and this time he hands off to Bentley. Bentley's got some room. Backs his way into Oiler territory to the 47, where the Colts used their last timeout. 17-yard gain by Bentley. 26 seconds left, and the Colts stop the clock.
That's the thing that Eric Dickerson has added to this team. Albert Bentley, they said, has not played up to his potential. This play is what his potential is. He has the threat to break away every time, just like Dickerson. And you see he accelerates through that hole, puts the big move on, and just is barely brought down.
Here's Albert Bentley from the University of Miami, a 3-year veteran, #2 rusher on this team, a #4 receiver. He's 5th in the AFC in the rushing department, and a couple of seasons in the USFL. There's Hogeboom and Meyer again conferring. The Colts do have 1 timeout left. I think I said they used their last, but this was their 2nd, so they have 1 timeout left.
The Colts are going to find themselves in a very peculiar predicament when Randy McMillan, who used to be the running back here, comes back next year. He was hurt in an accident this year, so he's going to miss this whole season. But they've got Bentley, they've got Dickerson, and you've also got McMillan. You've got to find a place for all 3 of those guys.
Bentley's rushed for 43 yards and has received for 72 so far in the first half. 115 yards total for Bentley. Hogeboom again puts it up to let his man run under it. Then a flag down. Brooks was trying to run under it. The defense had good position, and I think it'll be offensive interference, if anything.
They're going to call that defense.
Really?
Hogeboom saying it's on the defense, and quarterbacks usually know.
Audrey McMillan was defending for Houston. Let's see.
I disagree. I don't see how you call that defense. He turned around just in time. You don't have to run down there all the way looking at the ball. You have a right to that ball, but you've also got to cover your man, which is what McMillan was doing. He turned back in time to knock the ball away.
Well, it will be an interference call against the Houston Oilers, and it's a 25-yard penalty. And it sets Indianapolis up now in scoring territory. They're at the 22-yard line. They have 22 seconds and a timeout left. Hogeboom has it knocked down. It's incomplete. Stops the clock with 17 seconds.
That was a great defensive call. They came on a safety blitz right up the middle, got their hands up, knocked that ball, almost picked it off. And the Oilers are going to need some help getting out of this hole that they're in right now. They cannot afford to go in down 28-10. They've got to stop them. They can't even afford to let them kick a field goal right here.
Diasucci warming up on the sideline in case he is called on to try the field goal. 2nd down and 10 from the 22. 17 seconds left. Hogeboom hit. Oh, and the catch made by Bentley. He's got a touchdown. Watch Jesse Baker hit Hogeboom. The ball spinning crazily.
That was Jeff Donaldson caught him, and that reminds me of the play that Franco Harris made years ago against the Raiders. And when he was a rookie, he picked up that ball off the foot of Jack Tatum and ran it in for a touchdown.
And what a catch by Albert Bentley.
But I'll tell you what, Hogaboom got taken off the field. He's walking off the field. You see him there. He is in serious pain, folks. That hurts.
Here's Biasucci for the extra point. It's good. Albert Bentley with a sensational catch. And another Colt touchdown that comes with just 10 seconds left in the half. Hogaboom, though, seriously injured and helped to the sideline and to the dressing room. So it may be a bittersweet score for the Colts. They lead, though, 28-10 with just 10 seconds left. It's been an offensive show here. The man that would replace Hogaboom would be Jack Trudeau, the second-year man out of Illinois.
Well, he's going to have his work cut out for him because Hogaboom has been the spiritual leader of this team. He's been on the field taking care of business, and Trudeau will now come in and try to continue what Hogaboom has started here.
Last week against New England, the Colts owner, Robert Irsay, went to the sideline in the third quarter and suggested, they say here with the Colts, to Ron Meyer that he replace Hogaboom with Trudeau. Meyer said, no, we'll have the wind in the fourth quarter. We'll stay with Hogaboom. But eventually, Meyer did replace Hogaboom with Trudeau. And a lot has been made of Irsay going to the field. And the Boston Globe said that he demanded the quarterbacks be changed. The Colts say he suggested. And in fact, the change wasn't made until the fourth quarter.
Well, who knows whether he suggested or demanded, but however it came about, a change was made later on.
And earlier this week, Blair Keel, who was the third quarterback of the Colts, was released. So this is the first game that the Colts have only had two quarterbacks. Trudeau, the backup to Hogaboom. Blair Keel was waived earlier, and Sean Salisbury not active for this game.
I'll tell you, if Trudeau takes a hit like Hogaboom just took, they're going to be in trouble. I don't know who else could play quarterback. Maybe Dickerson. Salisbury, as you said, is not active, and Blair Keel has been released.
Here's Biasucci with the kick. Just 10 seconds left. Duncan fields it at the 10. And wrapped up at the 24-yard line. Ron Stark is the emergency quarterback for the Colts. He would be the man that would come in if Trudeau should go down and if Hogaboom can't return.
A punter?
Well, he couldn't do much worse than his kicking.
That's all I'll say is a punter, because those are some strange people anyway. I guess they're strange enough to be quarterbacks.
The Pro Bowl kicker of '86 has really been struggling and has yet to crack 40 yards today on a punt.
He's
4 seconds left. Excuse me, Michael.
He's got a career average, Ron Stark does in punting, of 45.16. And he's not even close to that this year, let alone this game.
Came into this game averaging just a tick over 40. It's probably gone below that with today's performance. Oilers have it, 4 seconds left. Loose pass is complete. They toss it back to Rozier. And he'll be taken out of bounds.
Oh, face mask.
They got him on the face mask. And the half cannot end on a penalty. So perhaps the Oilers can get a field goal attempt out of this.
That's one of those dumb mistakes. You know that you've got the guy by the face mask. You've got to let go. Another penalty flag was thrown late after the face mask penalty. But that's just a dumb mistake right there.
This has been a wild and woolly game through the first half. Rozier got the toss back as they completed the pass. Tossed it back. Here you'll see it. Drury passing back to Rozier.
Eugene Daniel comes in. He's got good position, but he grabs that face mask.
Well, on the replay, it doesn't look like he got the face mask.
It didn't, but any part of that helmet is considered the face mask. And then if you take him down, then it's flagrant.
A second penalty went down, and there's Daniel.
And some of the Oilers are laughing about it, so apparently it wasn't that flagrant. But Rozier was not laughing. He got up and he was ready to go to war with Eugene Daniel on that one.
And a second flag came down at that time. No time left on the clock, but the half cannot end on a penalty against the defense.
Personal foul on the defense and a personal foul on the offense. And the half will be ended. There will not be any kind of a replay. The half is over.
Well, Bob Frederick very definite about that. And what happened was the second flag was a penalty against the Oilers, and it cost them a chance at a field goal, and Jerry Glanville is hot.
That may have been against Jerry Glanville or somebody on that sideline, because Rozier did not throw the ball at Eugene Daniel.
Glanville is still getting after the officiating crew. Well, it's the Colts in front at halftime, and we'll be back for halftime activities after a word from your local station. Halftime at the Hoosier Dome with the Colts leading the Oilers 28-10 at intermission in a game, Michael, that has seen a lot of action, enough action, controversial plays for 2 games. Normally, it's been an exciting first half.
There has been a lot of action in this game. You know, what's interesting is Albert Bentley may have been the forgotten man here in Indianapolis, but he's found a way to get back into this team's role as being an important person. And the touchdown passes that he has caught, the good move there, the throw by Hogeboom and the 72-yard touchdown pass, catch, and run, and then that miraculous catch that he made when Hogeboom was hurt and put out of the game, those have brought him back as an important part of this team, because everybody knows how important Eric Dickerson is.
So Dickerson has scored 2 touchdowns, but Albert Bentley also has 2 touchdowns, both receiving passes from Gary Hogeboom. Still no word on Hogeboom's injury. You did see him taken from the field after completing a touchdown pass to Bentley. Well, look at the first half stats, Michael, and the way Houston's moved the football. Even though they're 18 down, you can't count them out.
Well, you never can count them out. They've held the ball longer than the Indianapolis Colts have. The only thing is they haven't finished that final 20 to 30 yards and gotten into the end zone as often as the Colts have. And that's a tribute to this Colt defense.
Total yards, the Oilers 259, 245 for the Colts. And as we get ready to start the second half, it could be Jack Trudeau at the controls for the Colts. He's warming up on the sideline. Gary Hogeboom hit just as he released the ball. Bentley caught it for a touchdown, but Hogeboom immediately taken to the dressing room, and no word yet on the extent of his injuries. Trudeau is used to filling in for Hogeboom, though. Almost all of the 1986 season, and on a couple of occasions here in '87, he's come in to replace Hogeboom. Ready for the kickoff now. Indianapolis will kick it off to Houston, and this kickoff is sponsored by Budweiser, the king of beers. Curtis Duncan is deep for the Oilers. Biasucci will kick it off for the Colts. Biasucci's kick taken a yard deep in the end zone. Across the 20-yard line goes Duncan, taken out of bounds just at the 20 by Chris Good on special teams. He's done a good job for the Colts today in that role. So that Oiler offense, which has moved the ball, especially on passes over the middle from Warren Moon in the first half, will have a chance to get something going here on the initial possession of the second half. Rozier and Wallace are the setbacks behind Warren Moon. Gives to Rozier. Rozier fights his way for 5 yards to the 25-yard line. Barry Krause, who's tough against the run, made the stop for the Colts.
Gary Hogeboom has come back onto the field, and that's what all the cheering about is in the stands. Gary Hogeboom comes out of the locker room. He's going to come back and try again.
Hogeboom has a dislocated right shoulder, we're told now, and will not return today. It looks like he's still dressed for action, and apparently they've popped that shoulder back in, but he won't be able to go, so it'll be Jack Trudeau, the only quarterback left for the Colts. Moon completes the pass. It's taken to the 25 to Rozier, who's out of bounds there. Johnny Cooks, stopped Rozier for no gain on the play, maybe a yard.
Another one of those short passes. The defensive secondary, which is thought to be the weak link of this Colt defense, is doing an excellent job along with that front line of putting pressure on, but they're holding the receivers off. Moon can't find anyone open, so he's got to go to the outlet.
You see 3rd and 4 coming up for the Oilers from their own 26-yard line. Moon sends Gibbons in motion. Moon rolls out, lost it, incomplete. Intended for Rozier, but just out of his grasp. A little too high, a little too far. Nesby Glasgow running with Rozier. Got a hand on it, but couldn't hold it.
You know, with Hogaboom down on the sideline, it means a lot to this Indianapolis team. What it means is that he cannot come back in and play, so that's already out. But it means that this season is not over. I'm coming out here, guys. I'm still in it. I want you to go out and play well because I'm going to support you, and we are still in this championship run.
So the Oilers will punt for the first time today. Their punter, Lee Johnson, is averaging 40.4 a kick, 7th in the AFC on 40 punts. There he is. Kicks barefoot, left-footed. And Brooks is deep for Indianapolis. Here's Johnson's kick, low, taken by Brooks at the 38. He's got some room at midfield. He's tackled from behind, down at the 49 of the Oilers. A 37-yard kick and a 13-yard return by Brooks. As you see, an Oiler injured on the play. So Indianapolis with good field position on its first possession of the second half.
Well, that seems to be the key to this game, is the field position that the Colts have had. The Oilers have started in good field position on a couple of occasions and come away empty. What the Oilers have to do is now hold the Colts at bay from the 50-yard line in.
Number 10 is Jack Trudeau, the second-year man out of Illinois, as you watch Brooks on the punt return.
We're going to see if we can find out where that injury occurred and what did happen.
It was Parks, Jeff Parks, number 89, who was injured there. It looks like his left knee. And he's still down.
Looks like he just rolled out of the tackle. Nothing looked like anything happened. Just one of those things that happens. And we're going to take a break and be back.
Today's game is brought to you by Mazda, bringing performance and value together. That's the Mazda way. By RCA, the most trusted name in electronics. And by Minolta and their Freedom cameras. For picture-taking freedom, leave it to the mind of Minolta.
Tom Hammond and Michael Jackson, the Hoosier Dome, 13:57 third quarter. Indianapolis with a first down. Hand off to Dickerson. Down to the 46-yard line of the Oilers. Indianapolis leading 28-10 on their first possession of the second half. There's Gary Hogaboom, separated shoulder. He won't play the remainder of the day. So it's Jack Trudeau at the controls. Meantime, Ron Stark, the punter, has been taking snaps on the sideline in case he should have to come in to replace Trudeau. Stark didn't play quarterback in college. They're uncertain whether he's ever played quarterback. It could be interesting if Trudeau goes down.
Maybe in high school, huh?
Dickerson on second down. He's got a hole to the 40 and close to a first down for the Colts. Jeff Donaldson finally pinning Dickerson. The NFL's leading rusher has scored a couple of touchdowns already today and is approaching 100 yards, which would be his fourth game in a row.
There's really no need in trying to figure out where the play was supposed to hit, because Eric Dickerson's going to take it where there is a hole and not where you think there may be one. And that's what makes him so dangerous. He got close to the first down. They're measuring, and he appears to be just a little bit short.
It is enough by a scant inch for a first down. Dickerson has carried 11 times for 63 yards now, bidding for that Colt record fourth 100-yard game in a row. A moment ago I said that Hogaboom had separated his shoulder. It's dislocated his right shoulder.
Does that mean they had to pop it back into place?
It hurts, whatever it is.
Well, I'll tell you what, I can't imagine that. I've never had that. I've seen people get them popped back into place, but not me.
First down for Indianapolis from the 39 of the Oilers. Trudeau across the middle has it complete to Dickerson. He's wrapped up immediately and taken down at the 34-yard line. It'll be a gain of about 6 on the play. Doug Smith, the nose tackle, finally made the tackle.
Dickerson, he adds so many other dimensions to a team. The play action fake is to him, so that's going to keep the linebackers in place. Then he gets the ball and nobody's around him because they see that it is a pass. But I'll tell you, he takes one big lick and gets up. He's so strong, so versatile as a running back.
2nd and 4 for the Colts. Dickerson across the 30 and close to another Colt first down. Well, as Jerry Glanville said yesterday during the Oiler practice, This is the wrong time for the Oilers to be playing the Colts with their two inside linebackers, John Grimsley and Al Smith, battling injuries. Grimsley with torn ankle ligaments and Smith with a turf toe.
Well, there really is no good time to be playing a team that has Eric Dickerson on it because of the potential threat of him breaking every tackle and going in for a touchdown. But especially when two of your top players defensively are hurt. You just can't hold up against him.
First down for the Colts at the 28 of the Oilers. Indianapolis leading 28-10, 11:20 to play third quarter. Dickerson on the draw play takes it to the 24-yard line. There are all kinds of bodies flying, and a couple of Oilers came out there all tangled up after a collision with Dickerson. He sent them flying back about 5 yards.
That's what makes the man scary, is his strength and speed.
Dickerson well accepted by the other Colt players too. He is making about $1.5 million this year, the fourth highest paid player in the NFL. He more than tripled the salary of Chris Hinton, who had been the highest paid Colt, but there doesn't seem to be much resentment. This time Dickerson is replaced by Bentley. Dickerson is out wide, set wide. And the pass intended for Eric Dickerson, and it's incomplete. Bentley was set wide, Dickerson in the backfield. Dickerson filtered out, but the pass went awry.
That was the same play that they ran earlier in the game where they did reverse the ball. They gave it to Bentley coming back in motion. That time they faked it and tried to hit Dickerson out in the flat.
See the remainder of the scores on the 10-minute ticker.
Cincinnati and New Orleans both are coming back today.
Walter Murray makes his first appearance in the lineup for the Colts with Brooks, Booza, and Bentley as the only setback. The Colts are only 1 of 4 on third down conversions today. It's 3rd and 6 here. Give it to Bentley. Bentley dragging players with him to the 20, but short of the first down.
Well, since they got Hogaboom out of the game, the Houston Oilers have blitzed 2 or 3 times already, trying to put some pressure on Trudeau because he has not had the experience that Hogaboom has had.
The fans wanted the Colts to go for it as Jerry Glanville puts his special team out there because the Colts are going to try a field goal. Fans want him to go for it, but Biasucci is on for the field goal attempt. Be a 37-yard attempt. Stark is the holder. And Biasucci's kick is good. Officially a 36-yard field goal by Dean Biasucci. And on its first possession, the Colts add to their lead. 54,999 at the Hoosier Dome this afternoon, just short of a sellout, which would be 60,000. Our producer Les Dennis, our director Ned Tate, giving the pictures from Indianapolis, Indiana this afternoon. As you see Duncan deep to receive Biasucci's kick. 31-10, the Indianapolis Colts bidding to stay in first place in the AFC East. Duncan returns it. Just short of the 20-yard line. He's hit hard.
There'll be some more fisticuffs out there again.
Terry Wright put the hit on him that time, one of the Colt replacement players.
The Colts are starting to take it to Houston physically and starting to intimidate them. On that, Terry Wright was in there making the play, but he ran over another Oiler blocker. They're starting just to run over him, just running roughshod over everything they do anymore.
Oilers need some points. They trail 31-10. 9.5 minutes left in the third quarter. If you've been with us, you know that Houston has been able to move the football for most of the game. But they need to get some points on the board here to get back in it. Moon will put it up on first down. In trouble. Gets rid of it. Completes it. His tight end, Jamie Williams. And Williams takes it out to the 24-yard line where Willie Tullis makes the tackle.
Again, you have to give the credit to the defensive backs of the Colt team. They're holding the downfield receivers at bay so Moon can't throw the ball to him. Then the front starts to break down. They get the rush on, and he's got to dump the ball off.
4-yard gain on that scramble by Moon and the completion to Williams. Ball at the 24-yard line. Rozier. He got maybe a yard at best. Cliff Odom led the charge for the Colts. Rozier looked like he was going to break outside, then suddenly turned up inside, and there were a lot of blue shirts there.
Well, it looked like he saw a big hole there, and there was a hole, but it soon dissipated as the dark-clad Colts got there to shut that hole off. One thing that my old coach Chuck Knox used to always say about pass defense, a good pass defense is rush plus coverage. That equals the successful defensive pass. Pass defense, rather.
And on 3rd and 4, the Oilers trying to get a first down. That's Givens in motion. Rozier cuts it back the other way. He's got the first down and more. Tripped up across the 35 to the 37-yard line. They cross him up and keep it on the ground. Rozier for 11 and an Oiler first down.
Again, they're going back to that basic game plan what Glanville told us he would do yesterday. Give Moon some confidence by running the ball. You see the little delayed draw to Rozier. He makes a nice cut. Just like the two running backs for the Colts are making that little cutback behind all the blocking and picks up the first down yardage.
Finally, Byron Darby able to chase him down, but Rozier has the first out to the 37-yard line. Moon with plenty of time, dropped by Ray Wallace. So are the Colts leading 31-10. Let's go to Bob Costas for an update.
All right, Tom, after trailing 17-7, the Bengals have now tied the Jets. Boomer Esiason waits for a target and then drills it between two defenders to Eric Caddis for a 3-yard touchdown. Esiason's second TD pass of the game, and in the third, the Jets and Bengals are even at 17.
Tom Hammond and Michael Jackson at the Hoosier Dome, 31-10 Colts. And the fact that the Bengals have tied it, good news for Colt fans who are in that 5-way tie. The Jets, one of the teams tied in the AFC East. Moon finds the safety valve and completes it in the flat. The gain is up to the 40-yard line, about 4 yards. Hand and Bickett making the stop for the Indianapolis Colts.
It seems like the Colt defense is starting to confuse Moon. Not only are they covering those receivers very tightly, but they're running a zone deep with man underneath, and that's why he can't get the ball to anyone, because everybody's either covered or there's a man running into a zone coverage.
3rd and 8 for Houston. Moves in the shotgun. He sends Givens in motion. Wide open and complete for a first down. Duncan, the rookie out of Northwestern, makes the catch in Colt territory at the 45-yard line. Duncan, the 10th round draft choice out of Northwestern, making it for a 16-yard gain and a first down as Chris Good makes the stop for Indianapolis.
Moon finally found somebody just in a single coverage with no zone help underneath, and he got the ball to him for the first down. That's the kind of play that he needs to get his confidence going again. He makes a nice little break outside. There's nobody that can help him outside. He picks up the first down out of bounds.
At the 45 of the Colts, Rozier on first down. Gets 2 yards before he's taken down by Barry Krause. Byron Darby also getting a piece of the tackle. And Rozier has gone over 100 yards for the game. The 4th time this year he's over 100. Here are scores. Miami still being blanked by Buffalo. The last Dolphins shutout, December 12th, 1982. That was that famous snow game in New England when the Patriots won 3-0. Remember that, when the guy came out on the snowplow, moved the snow away, and the Patriots kicked the field goal? That's the last time the Dolphins were shut out.
That's the game that everybody remembers. That convict came out of the stands, it seemed like, and just cleaned that spot out for the guy.
And wasn't Ron Meyer the coach?
I think he was.
Here's Rozier. He's got the corner, puts his head down and gets a first down to the Colts 34-yard line. Nesby Glasgow taking the hit from Rozier. He lowered his head. You could hear the crack all the way up here, and he's got his head down and feeling the effects of that blow with Glasgow.
I was having dinner with Nesby and Warren last night in my room, and Nesby was saying that he might get a little bit more action today as far as the run goes because the Houston Oilers like to go outside, and now that he's strong safety, he can come up and hit. But the last time he got any action was a couple of weeks ago, and he hurt a guy just like this. You see him, he just drives his head down into the ground on his way down. Nesby likes to hit, and that's a Mike Rozier now knows that Nesby will come up and hit you, and everybody should know that about him. He played safety. He played corner in college with us. When we were in college, he played corner, and he used to come up and just put a big licking on offensive linemen, running backs, the quarterbacks, anybody who came his direction.
Glasgow, the player rep on this Indianapolis team in what has been a tough year for those involved in the strike, and some of the Indianapolis players, regular players, crossed to play, most notably Gary Hogeboom.
Hogeboom never left. As I understood, he stayed in the whole time.
Never left, and right. He played right from the first replacement game. Rozier, though, as you saw, running off the field, and the bells might have been ringing a bit, but he didn't appear to be seriously injured.
Moon trying to figure out what they can do to finish off. Now, they've gotten down to this point in the game probably 4 or 5 times earlier, but they have not finished off that last 34 yards from where they are now to the end zone. They have not gotten in there except for one time. With 3 minutes and 22 seconds left, they need, with 5.5 minutes left, they need to get in there right now. They can't afford. They're down by 2-3 touchdowns. They got to start cutting away at this lead.
Play action pass. Moon throws into coverage and got away with one there. They were all around Ernest Givens, and he's lucky he didn't have that one intercepted. Pryor and Krause had Givens sandwiched, and Givens a little gimpy.
They had everybody in double coverage that time. Moon had one guy, and usually you're going to find one person wide open with one guy on him, but you see Nesby running with Givens. Krause is there, and they've got him sandwiched. There's no way you can get in there. They had 3 people covering Ernest Givens that time, and Moon still tried to force it in. That's what I'm saying. They're confusing him with that zone man principle that they're playing with the Colts.
5.5 minutes left. Indianapolis up 31-10. Drury goes in motion this time. Rozier has the handoff. No, it's not Rozier. It's Alan Pinkett. And Pinkett is across the 30 to the 29-yard line where Donnell Thompson makes the hit. It'll bring up a 3rd and long for Houston. Alan Pinkett out of Notre Dame had such a great career with the Irish, a 3-time All-American and the leading all-time rusher at Notre Dame, over 4,100 yards. So Houston with a 3rd and 5. They've converted on 6 of 10 third downs this afternoon. Rozier. And he has a first down as Glasgow finally makes the saving tackle. Rozier running, spinning his way for first down yardage.
That may be the only play that's going to work for Houston right now, is that little delay to Rozier. He seems to be their only offense. He gets the ball, Moon hands it to him. He runs the little delayed draw, puts a good move on the defender there, but Nesby comes in and finishes him off. But he does pick up the first down, and that's what the Oilers need to do, is get the first down and get a touchdown.
Rozier, 121 yards on the day. This is the 12th play of the Houston drive. They have a first down at the Colt 22. Moon, he's got running room. Out of bounds after a 9-yard gain. Barry Krause in hot pursuit. But Moon got out of bounds just a yard short of the first down marker.
Krause showed some speed in keeping up with Warren Moon that time, making sure that he didn't get across that first down marker. So now the Oilers find themselves still in a very precarious position. They've got to get the first down, but they would like to get the touchdown, of course. And this tough defense that the Colts have put up against them has been doing whatever it wants to do, basically.
Well, not only do the Oilers need to score, but they need to score relatively quickly. Only 4 minutes left in the third quarter, and they're down 31-10. Rozier, he's got the first down. And he's stopped at the 6-yard line of the Colts. Bob Frederick with the signal. First down, Houston. Cliff Odom, inside linebacker of the Colts, finally stops Rozier.
Basic handoff right up the middle. Rozier, you see the speed and strength of him. He puts his head down. He's still not afraid to get in there and get the licks in. That time, I think he ran over Nesby Glasgow, so he got him back for that previous injury that he had. If you're a Colt, you don't mind them scoring here because they've used up so much time on that clock.
First and goal at the 7. Rozier tried to cut it back and stopped in his tracks by Cliff Odom. Odom, the 7-year veteran out of Texas Arlington, who is second leading tackler, tied with Krause for that honor.
They say that this linebacking core is the strength of this defense, and Odom proved that he is not a weak link. He got in there and he made his strong point made.
He was the leading tackler for the Colts in '85 and in '86. First game of the season, he was thrown out of the game for fighting with Larry Kennebrew of the Bengals.
Oh, that had to be a good fight. Two big horses going at each other.
Second and goal for the Houston Oilers from the 7. No gain in the last play. Moon's pass, good for the touchdown. Complete to Williams, the tight end with the grab. And the Oilers get the touchdown. Bickett and Glasgow unable to stop it as Moon drilled it right into Williams.
Again, he threw into double coverage, but that time it paid off. Williams came up with the catch. You can't see Nesby Glasgow or Bickett at the top of your screen. You just see the end of the play. Williams came around the end and Bickett missed him. Nesby had him on the outside, but nobody covered him close enough to keep the pass from being completed for a touchdown.
Zendejas for the extra point. And it's good. So with 2:27 left in the third quarter, the Oilers are back in the game. It's 31-17 Indianapolis. Third score of the year for Jamie Williams, who only has 7 receptions on the year, but he makes them count. That's his third touchdown, and it brings the Oilers closer. Now 31-17. Indianapolis with the lead, and 2:27 on the clock for the third quarter. That play, 15 plays, that drive I should say, 15 plays, covered 80 yards in over 7 minutes, with Moon hitting Williams for the score. Lee Johnson to kick it off. Bentley, 2 yards deep. Hit hard and dropped at the 20. So here comes the Colt offense with Jack Trudeau again at quarterback, replacing the injured Gary Hogaboom.
This will be a big series for this Houston Oilers defense. They have got to hold the Colts down at this end of the field, get the ball back, give their offense a chance to get in, hopefully before the end of the quarter, but at least early in the fourth quarter.
Trudeau is sacked back at about the 7-yard line. First sack of the day, and Ray Childress, the former first-round draft choice out of Texas A&M, and the leading sacker on this Houston club, gets credit for that one. The Oilers playing without Steve Brown, who's been injured and is out for the rest of the game, at a cornerback, and Audrey McMillan taking his place. Here's the sack of Trudeau.
The left outside linebacker, Robert Lyles, 93, you see him there. He gets a hand on him, and Ray Childress just comes and finishes him off. But that was a big play. That's what the Oilers need to do, is put some pressure on Trudeau. He can be flustered under pressure.
2nd and 21 for Trudeau. Clock ticking down toward the end of the third quarter. Dickerson takes it to the 14-yard line, where he's hit and stopped about 5 yards on the play. Some of Dickerson's former fans in California, in San Leandro, we understand, are gathered to watch the game today and to see Eric Dickerson run. And approaching 100 yards, he has 77 now, and needs 100 to set a Colt record with 4 consecutive games over that mark. He comes out now, replaced by Bentley.
Big defensive play here. They've got to shut the Colts down. The Oilers have got to shut them down if they want any chance to get back in this game.
3rd and 16. Spread formation. Bentley. He didn't get it. They tried the draw play to Bentley, who takes it to the 16-yard line, and it'll be a punting situation now for the Colts.
Now, for the first time since this game has started, the Houston Oilers have started to assert themselves. The defense has finally stopped this Colt offense. I mean, up until this point, the Colts have done whatever they wanted to. Now they find themselves, the Oilers ought to get good field position, should be on the Colts side of the 50-yard line after this punt.
Remember, Stark has not had a good day. Here's a kick by Stark. Taken on the run by Kenny Johnson. He's got a return down the sideline, still on his feet, and finally dropped at the 25-yard line. Kenny Johnson with a good return, another short punt, only 33 yards by Stark, and then Johnson brings it back 22. And the Oilers in good shape. 17 seconds left in the quarter.
Punts like this will do nothing to help your confidence if you're having if you're in a slump like the Colt punter is. This will do nothing to help you. This is a great individual effort by Kenny Johnson, but he has brought the ball back an 11-yard net after that punt. That won't do anything to help your confidence.
Stark continues to struggle for Indianapolis. Meanwhile, the Oilers with a first down at the Colt 24-yard line. Rozier breaks it back to the right and gets nothing. Stacked up and thrown back by the blue-shirted defenders of the Colts, with Bickett and Sally and Hand, Thompson, all of them getting in to have a hand on it, and Johnny Cook's there as well. And you hear the gun sound. That's the end of the 3rd quarter. At the end of the 3rd quarter in Indianapolis, the score, the Indianapolis Colts 31 and the Houston Oilers 17. We'll be back to Indianapolis for the 4th quarter of play after these words from your local station. The property of the National Football League, the Houston Oilers and the Indianapolis Colts, all rights reserved. The telecast presented by authority of the National Football League, intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of the telecast without the express written consent of the Indianapolis Colts and the NFL is prohibited. Here's Mike Rozier trying to turn the corner and stop. Great tackle on the play by Eugene Daniel.
Seems like Eugene Daniel has been hounding Rozier this whole game. That time he came up and made an excellent play. I think the Colts seem to have finally figured out that audible, because once the play started, they started hollering some audible out and come up with this big play where they lose yardage on it. You see the whole defense getting into the act with the pursuit, and that's what you need to stop a running back like Rozier, is that great pursuit from the inside out.
Daniel, the 4-year veteran out of LSU, had made 25 tackles coming into the game, and has been the leading interceptor for the Colts the last 3 seasons. Warren Moon on 3rd and 12. Rozier, nothing. Nesby Glasgow met him at the pass. Rozier got the handoff, and Glasgow pounced all over him.
Well, I think Nesby was coming on a blitz that time, and he looked up, and here's Rozier, so I might as well tackle him. I got to do something, so I may as well bring the guy down with me.
Well, the 4th quarter all season has been good to the Oilers. They've outscored their opponents 89-53 in the 4th quarter. But after that defensive play, they'll have to settle for a field goal attempt.
And again, the Oilers get inside the 30 and can't put up the 7 points. That's what's so disturbing about this team right now.
Zendejas from 44 yards. And this one is good. Tony Zendejas connects from 44 yards out, and the Oilers have a field goal to start the 4th quarter. It's now 31-20. The Hoosier Dome, where the Oilers continue to win the battle of the stats, though the Colts have made the big plays and lead 31-20. Here's Bentley taking a short kick. Gets to the outside. Saving tackle made at the 28-yard line. Or Bentley could have been gone to the races. He got 18 yards as it was before Domingo Bryant was able to collar him. Bentley's having a big game. He's rushed for 51, He has 94 yards receiving, and he has over 70 in kickoff returns. Over 200 yards on the day for that man, number 20, Albert Bentley.
He's certainly earning his pay today.
And now with a 31-20 lead and 13 minutes left, as you look at the other scores, and Buffalo continuing to blank Miami, and Marino's string of touchdown passes will come to an end, apparently. Now it's going to be stop Eric Dickerson, I think, as the Colts will try to control the ball and work on the clock. Dickerson on the sweep. Cuts it back across the 35 to the 37-yard line. Got about 8 yards before Robert Lyle's able to pin him to the turf. In that Miami-Buffalo game, Dan Marino has been replaced by Don Strock after throwing 3 interceptions. As you see the other scores.
Cincinnati makes a big comeback. They now lead the Jets 20-17. Boomer Esiason's getting everybody fired up down there in Cincinnati.
Cincinnati in that Central Division with Houston, but in the cellar currently the Bengals. Here's Dickerson, same play. This time it doesn't work as he stopped for a short gain, maybe a yard on the play. It'll be short of the first down. Ray Childress was ready for it that time.
Well, the Houston defense is not giving up. They're still trying to get in there and make the big turnover, make the big plays, and keep the Colts on this side of the field so they can get good field position for their offense.
An important third down coming up for the Houston defense as Jerry Glanville marshals his troops. It'll be 3rd and 1. The Oilers need the ball back, trailing 31-20. Clock under 12 minutes for the game. Dickerson at about 6 yards behind the line of scrimmage. Back there where he can see the openings. He gets the handoff, and there's no opening there. He's stopped short of the first down.
There was a big play, I'll tell you. That was a great individual effort by Cliff Oldham, along with the rest of that defensive line. They finally rose to the occasion. They made the big play. They got the ball back for their offense where they needed.
Childress with a big stop, and Lyles was in there as well. They met Dickerson right at the line of scrimmage. Watch it.
And like you said, he's 6 to 7 yards deep, so he's got a good look to see where that hole is going to be in the offensive line. The problem is that time there was no hole to cut in.
Well, there were 55,000 plus the players that knew where the handoff was going to go, and they were ready for it. Starks punt, another short one. Taken again by Kenny Johnson, who fumbles it. And the Colts have it. Orlando Lowry just activated. Downfield on special teams, picks up the fumble. Watch it.
This is one of those, you get the ball, you fumble it, and instead of just falling on it, he tries to pick it up and make something out of nothing, and what he did was make a big mess out of nothing.
Johnson had a chance to just fall on it, but tried to pick it up and run with it. And the 3rd turnover of the day for Jerry Glanville's club, and it gives Indianapolis excellent field position just short of the 30-yard line of the Oilers. Big break in the game there, just when it appeared Houston had momentum going its way. Dickerson gets by one man. Finally loses his footing and goes down as he was trying to put a move on Patrick Allen.
More fights in the middle of the field again.
Childress was in there, mixing it up with Hinton and some others. A lot of big bodies in there. Childress 6'6", 276. Hinton 6'4", 295.
I don't know if I'd go up against Chris Hinton. I'll tell you, watching Eric Dickerson run from up here is such a treat, because I remember he played against me when I was with the Seahawks, and he ran for like 160 yards or something like that. But now to watch him run and put those moves on somebody else, it's so exciting, because you know how you look trying to stop that guy.
You don't have to worry about
You look like an idiot. That's right. You look like an idiot trying to stop him.
2nd and 6. Dickerson got the audible, then backed off to get the handoff, and nothing there for him. The Oilers are zeroing in on Dickerson, who's getting the handoff on every play. Keith Bostic was ready for it. Well, we said it would be stop Eric Dickerson time, and every play has gone to Eric Dickerson since the Colts got the ball.
Well, he's been the only running back in there, the only person eligible to carry the ball besides Trudeau. And you know he won't carry it. And right now they don't care to throw the ball. They just want to eat up some time.
And they are doing that. 9.5 minutes left. Dickerson, as you see, on the sideline, replaced by Bentley. It's 3rd down and 7. Trudeau goes for the end zone, and there's nobody there.
Here come the Boo Birds again.
I think they thought that Brooks was held up on the play, but the pass way off the mark by Trudeau, and on 4th down, Biasucci will try for the field goal. Biasucci has hit his only field goal attempt today. This one a little longer. It'll be from 45 yards. Kick is up. And it's good. Dean Biasucci rams it through the uprights from 45 yards out. And once again, the Colts have a 2-touchdown lead on the Oilers.
Today's game is brought to you by Coors, the beer with a difference worth tasting. Coors is the one. By Apple Computer, giving you the power to be your best in home, school, and business. And by Norelco Electric Razors, for a close and comfortable shave.
Tom Abbott and Michael Jackson, Les Dennis, our producer, Ned Tate, our director, from the Hoosier Dome in Indianapolis. 9:05 left in the game, and the Colts leading the Oilers 34-20. Biasucci will kick it off for the Colts. Number 4, ready to kick. And Duncan deep for the Oilers. Duncan takes it at the goal line. Got the wedge in front of him. The wedge breaks down, and Duncan goes down at the 15-yard line. Terry Wright downfield for the tackle.
Well, I'll tell you, there was really no wedge because Duncan passed the wedge up. The wedge was just standing there waiting for the Colts to come down and break them apart.
Duncan, who returned the kickoff, is injured on the play. He's a rookie out of Northwestern, a 10th-round draft choice, who was 3rd in the U.S. in kickoff returns as a college junior. As you hear the crowd reacting to some scores announced here, including that Buffalo shutout of Miami. So while they tend to Curtis Duncan, will take a break. 8:57 left, and Indianapolis in front. Remaining 34-20. Indianapolis leading Houston. Curtis Duncan shaken up on the last play, taken off the field. And a first down for the Oilers at their own 15. Boone's pass is complete in the flat. And the gain only to the 15-yard line, perhaps got back to the line of scrimmage.
I think he will have been lucky to have gotten back to the line of scrimmage on that one. They're still taking away the deep stuff, the intermediate routes from Moon. So he still has to dump off. He's had to do that this whole game so far.
2nd and 10 coming up for the Oilers. Clock on the move. Now down inside 8.5 minutes. The Oilers need 2 touchdowns and 2 conversions to tie for the day. Moon is hit for 213 yards. 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Though the pickoff didn't hurt him, it was fumbled right back. Moon stands in the pocket and throws his 2nd interception. Willie Tullis, the former Oiler, had perfect position to pick it off, intended for Gibbons. 4th turnover of the game for the Houston Oilers as Willie Tullis gets his first interception of the season.
Moon took a chance on that one and tried to drill the ball in there. Tullis was right there and picked it off. Just one of those unfortunate situations for Warren Moon. They've been taking away everything deep from him, and he got impatient that time, tried to drill it in there, force it in, and it didn't pay off. This time the Colts came up with a big play on this side of the 50 for them.
The veteran Tullis with perfect position.
Couldn't have played it any more perfectly.
First down at the 38. Dickerson again, the man to watch. On the pitch, cuts the other way. He's got a couple of blockers. He pushes one out of the way. Trudeau cuts back to the 15, down inside the 10. 24 yards for Dickerson.
There's a fight down there that may be Dickerson and Trudeau, because Trudeau cut him off. He was the only one. He was the only one who stopped him on that play. Dickerson, so smooth, so sweet. Just watch this play. Later on, watch Trudeau get in the way and watch Dickerson push him.
Trudeau, he's trying to block. He gets in the way.
He was the only man who stopped Dickerson from going into the end zone. And then down at the bottom of the pile, you can't see it, but Dickerson is jumping all over Trudeau. You can't see it, but he did do it.
And so Dickerson has set a Colts record with his 4th consecutive game over 100 yards rushing, breaking the record that he had shared with Lydell Mitchell.
That's what this crowd has been waiting for, a big run like that from Eric Dickerson. They know what he's capable of doing. They want to see the spectacular. That time they almost did.
1st and goal at the 9-yard line. Cuts it back, stopped at about the 7-yard line, got 2 on the play. Ray Childress made the tackle, a hard hit on Dickerson. You think in the huddle he said to Trudeau, just hand the ball off and get out of the way.
That's all you get paid to do, Jack. Just hand me the ball and stand back and watch me. Let me go to work by myself. I think Ron Meyer's thinking the same thing. You know, if this guy hadn't tried to block somebody, but you can't fault Trudeau on that. He thought he was going to try and help out, and he almost did. He just got in the way.
2nd and goal from the 6-yard line. Dickerson again up the middle, inside the 5 to the 4. Dickerson, who came over in that big trade. The Colts gave up 1st and 2nd round draft choices in '88 and a 2nd in '89, plus Owen Gill. And the Bills, who were part of the deal, getting Bennett, the rights to Bennett from the Colts, gave up a 1st in '88 and a 1st and 2nd in '89, plus Greg Bell. And as the man leaves the field, he gets a tremendous standing ovation.
It's interesting talking to the Colts because they don't feel like they mortgaged the future to get Eric Dickerson. What they did was a very smart move, and it's going to help this team out tremendously.
And they're going to remain in a tie for 1st in the AFC East. There's another touchdown. Just saw it up as Matt Booza gets the short pass from Trudeau. And the Colts put it away. They'll remain in a tie for 1st in the AFC East. And if it comes down to a tie, their record in the division is such that they have the advantage with the tiebreakers.
Well, they are 5-2 in their division, and that gives them a walk so far. The closest team is what, 3-2 in that same division.
So Eric Dickerson perhaps will lead the Colts into the playoffs for the first time since 1977.
This is the 3rd time this year that the Colts have gone over 40 points. Nobody else has done it more than once.
Dean Biasucci will try to make it 41. And it's good. Well, the Colts on their way to their 1st November victory in the Hoosier Dome. Just 5:50 left, and the Colts very much in control. It's hard to break old habits. The fans here at the Hoosier Dome heading for the exits before the game's over.
Some of them are conditioned to leave at this point in the game, but this time they're leaving with a smile on their face. Their team's ahead by three touchdowns. They're headed towards the playoffs apparently, and it's a joy to leave in this fashion.
Biasucci's kick to Willie Drury, replacing Duncan, who has a knee sprain. And Drury tries to reverse it at the 15 and taken down at the 16-yard line. 5:40 on the clock. It's 41-20 Indianapolis. Here are the other scores. Kevin Butler with a field goal, adding to the Bears' lead. Miami continues to blank the Dolphins. That'll be the first Miami shutout since December 12th, 1982. Philadelphia with a 7-point lead on New England. That one's been back and forth. Cincinnati tying the Jets. And we've got a final score in now on the Buffalo-Miami game, and Buffalo did shut out the Dolphins for the first time since '82, 27-0 the final. Buffalo had 230 yards rushing to 23 for Miami, and Marino's string of touchdown passes comes to an end. Here's Warren Moon. He completes the pass. Hill makes That's a nice move. Loose down the sideline. And out of bounds at the 48-yard line. Jim Perryman spun him out, but Hill with a gain of 31 on the connection from Moon. We've talked about the Colts and their good chances for the playoffs. What about Houston? Came into today a game behind Cleveland in the Central Division. What are their chances as we look ahead? Next week, they play San Diego at the Astrodome.
Well, they play San Diego at the Astrodome. You can never count them out. This play is evidence of that. Drew Hill, a nice reception there, nice run, and that just proves that the Houston Oilers are very explosive in their offense.
Indianapolis Colts will go to Cleveland next week. Here's Warren Moon's got a man wide open. They're giving him plenty of cushion, and it'll be about 11 or 12-yard gain and another first down.
Getting back to the Oilers' chance of getting into the playoff, it all depends on what Cleveland does tonight versus the San Francisco 49ers. If they lose, then Houston has not lost any ground. But if they win, then they'll be 2 back, and it will be tough trying to catch up with that Cleveland team. They look real hot.
Pittsburgh also currently losing to New Orleans. Houston have been tied with Pittsburgh in the Central Division. That one intended for Drew Hill falls incomplete. Gibbons had made the last catch for a first down. John Holt defending against Drew Hill on that one.
Down by 3 touchdowns at this stage of the game. The only thing you can hope to do is get in there, get into that end zone with more than 4 minutes left in this game, and then try your onside kicks. Your chances of getting the ball back are 50-50, but at least you got a shot at it.
Under 5 minutes to play. Moon for the afternoon is hit on 22 of 40 passes, 247 yards, 2 touchdown passes, and 2 interceptions. That means as Moon scrambles and lets it go for the end zone. Great catch. Touchdown, Houston. Wow, what a catch.
Drew Hill again.
Moon scrambling, just threw it as far as he could, and Drew Hill with a diving grab. Terry Wright and Mike Pryor wrapped all over him. Well, you said it was explosive offense. No more explosive than this one.
Great individual effort by Moon. He's getting good pressure. Just runs out of there, gives that little wave to Drew Hill at the last second, lets that ball go, and Drew makes an outstanding catch. He stretches out like you want your receivers to do. Makes that reception for the touchdown.
Nice throw by Moon on the run off the wrong foot, as a matter of fact, it looked like, and Drew Hill stretched out to make the catch. Zendejas with the extra point, it's good. And with 4 minutes and 48 seconds left, the Houston Oilers once again draw within 2 touchdowns. It's 41-27. Drew Hill with 7 receptions, 134 yards, and 2 scores today. 8-year veteran out of Georgia Tech who came over in '85 in a trade with the Rams. Has had 10 previous 100-yard receiving games, so this number 11 today.
It seems like Drew Hill has been with the Oilers longer than just 2 years now.
41-27 for Ron Meyer and his Colts. 4 plays on that drive. They covered 83 yards in just over a minute with the 40-yard pass from Moon to Hill.
Well, that shows you exactly how explosive this Houston offense is, but by the same token, it shows you how inconsistent they are. I mean, they move down the field in less than a minute, get into the end zone, and then they've been inside the 30 just about all day today and have not scored that touchdown. Now they go by the long bomb. Jerry Glanville's got to be very confused as to what's going on with this team. Now the pressure is now being put on the Houston defense. If they can get down here and take the ball away from the Colts, you've got another different game. You'll have a game within a game again.
Jerry Glanville, who said yesterday that his team is so young they don't know what it takes to get in the playoffs. They're saying, what do we have to do, coach? How do you get into those playoff things?
He was saying that he was trying to describe to them the way that the wild card is drawn.
Here comes the onside kick attempt. Johnson boots it, and it's fallen on by the Colts. Safely recovered by Chris Good, number 37.
I don't know if they've ever tried an onside kick, but that was not even close. Nobody was going for the ball. You've got, when you get to this point, what your defenders have to do is they've got to get in there and try to hit the man who's going to fall on that ball. Nobody touches him until he's laid on the ball. that won't do you any good. You may as well kick the ball deep and keep the Colts out of field goal range.
So the Colts have it at the 49 of the Houston Oilers, and 4:44 on the clock. And again, get ready for the Eric Dickerson show.
This time, if he breaks back across the field, I guarantee that Jack Trudeau will not be the lead blocker.
Well, there he goes. Cut up toward the middle of the field that time, and after all that, got a couple of yards. More importantly, for the Colts standpoint, the clock continues to roll, now down to 4:30 and counting.
That's the big point, is just to keep that clock rolling for the Colts, and for the Houston Oilers, they've got to get that ball away from them. They may have to start using their timeouts. They've got 3 of them left right now.
In total offense, Houston has outgained Indianapolis. 418 yards of offense for the Oilers, 335 for the Colts. But as we said, the Colts have made the big plays, and they're up 41-27. Just over 4 minutes on the clock. Dickerson up the middle, hit, bounces off, hit again, and falls forward back to the line of scrimmage. And Houston does stop the clock with its first time out of the second half. 6 interceptions, 4 fumbles. The turnovers have plagued Jerry Glanville's club severely the last 2 weeks. Last week's big loss to Cleveland, and behind here against Indianapolis on the road.
Well, if they can get the ball back here, that'll put them right back in the middle of this game with another chance to kick one of those fatal onside kicks if they can get into the end zone. But their problem at hand is to stop Jack Trudeau and this offensive team.
There's John Grimsley, the leading tackler, the 4-year veteran out of the University of Kentucky, one of the inside linebackers, a 6th-round draft choice who has really come on for Houston and playing injured today. Well, dreams can come true. Certainly, no one would have suspected that the Colts would be tied for first this late in the season a year ago when they went winless through the first 13 games of the season. And then Ron Meyer took over as coach. They won the last 3, and they've been a different team this season. Then the acquisition of Eric Dickerson made them a definite contender. Final score from Three Rivers Stadium. The New Orleans Saints are another team that has come from the bottom of the pack to be for real. They beat Pittsburgh at Three Rivers today 20-16, which is good news for Houston Oilers fans, which means that Houston can do no worse than remain tied for second.
I was talking to some of the players from the Indianapolis Colts yesterday and asking them what it meant to be playing a game that meant something in November, and especially playing to stay in the first place. They say it's something you cannot understand, Michael. It's like your dreams come true, just like that sign. It's your dreams come true because you always want to win in November so that you can play in December.
Gary Hogeboom, number 7, standing next to Eric Dickerson, though, could be a key factor down the stretch for the Colts if he's unable to return at quarterback because of that dislocated shoulder that he had today. That could be a tough blow to the offense of the Colts. So the win today could be a costly one. We'll have to wait and see. Bentley got the handoff, broke free, and he's got the first down. First down for the Colts at the 34-yard line of the Oilers.
Just a straight draw play to Bentley. He's going to do a lot of this on his own. In fact, the Oilers are going to make it easy for him because they have a blitz on there. Everybody runs past him, so he's just got to pick his way up the line of scrimmage and get to the line and pick up that first down.
Pretty good 1-2 punch. Bentley was 64 yards, Dickerson over 100. Bentley, of course, also has 2 receiving touchdowns today and over 100 yards in that category. 3 minutes, 10 seconds on the clock. Here's Dickerson. Did you see who was that? One of the Oilers, I guess it was Doug Smith, trying to pull the ball away from Dickerson, sort of rocking it back and forth as Dickerson lay on his back.
A little bit too late to take it away from him once he's down. You know, getting back to that Hogeboom story about whether or not he's able to play later on, as you look at the 10-minute ticker and you see that Buffalo did indeed shut out Miami. If Hogeboom can't play, they've still got this air of confidence that Dickerson and Ron Meyer has instilled into this team, that you can win without us. You can still go ahead and win.
They'll face a tough battle at Cleveland Stadium next week. The Cleveland Browns, many think the best team in the AFC. And it'll be Indianapolis at Cleveland a week from today. There's Eric Dickerson. Just broken the Colts record today with his 4th consecutive 100-yard game. He's led the NFL in rushing 3 of the last 4 years and set the all-time mark over 2,100 yards. He played for Ron Meyer when Meyer was the head coach at SMU. And Meyer more than glad to get his former pupil back with his team in the pros.
A lot of people thought that Ron Meyer had a lot of instigating circumstances, mitigating circumstances as to why Dickerson would want to come to Indianapolis of all places.
Well, he'd been very unhappy with the Rams and had asked to be traded. Said he wasn't being paid enough. And he comes to Indianapolis and has helped rejuvenate this franchise. Coming up next, the Skins game, the popular golf outing with Nicholas Trevino, Palmer, Fuzzy Zeller, who won it last year. That'll be coming up next on NBC, the Skins game at the conclusion of the football. 3:02 left for football. 41-27 Colts. Houston has only 1 timeout remaining. Dickerson plows straight ahead. There's a flag down. Dickerson close to the first down marker. It'll be against Indianapolis.
Look like John Grimsley is down too for the Houston Oilers. He's got that. He's grabbing that ankle.
He's playing today with sprained ankle ligaments. There was some question whether he could even play, and he's played the whole game until now with that injury. A courageous effort by Grimsley, who is the best defender against the run.
Holding, number 53, second down, will be replayed.
Pro Bowler Ray Donaldson guilty of the hold. Grimsley, the leading tackler in '86 and the 3rd leading tackler this year for the Houston Oilers. Still on the field. Jerry Glanville said yesterday that Grimsley will play while he's hurt. Said, but the difference between a veteran like Grimsley and a younger player, say Al Smith, who also was playing with an injury, is that Grimsley will tell me if he's helping us or hurting us. Whereas Smith, he said he probably doesn't even know where he's playing today. He gets lost in there, and whether he's helping us or hurting us, he can't say. But Grimsley, if he wasn't up to the task, would let Glanville know.
Well, he certainly hasn't hurt them very much today.
The Chicago Bears win for the 9th time against 2 losses. They beat the Green Bay Packers 23-10, a final score in. See that when Dickerson. Clock starts again now at 2 minutes 46 seconds. 2nd and 16 after the penalty. Dickerson runs it again. Tripped up. Falls forward to the 35-yard line. Richard Byrd tripped up Dickerson, and the Oilers stopped the clock with their final timeout. While we have a moment, we'd like to thank our spotters, Paul Farimsky and Joe DePietro and Bob Bernath on stats this afternoon. Good job by our crew here at Indianapolis, and our Interlink scores keeping us up to date on all the actions around the NFL. Some of the plays that made this another exciting week.
This is the time of the game where you get real bored. There's not very much going on. 2.5 minutes left.
Here are the games remaining for Indianapolis. They'll go to Cleveland. They'll be here to face the hot Buffalo Bills. Then a tough game as they travel to play the Chargers in San Diego. And they'll close out the season at home against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I believe that's the only NFC team they play all year long.
It is the only NFC team that they play all year long. And they are pretty much in control of their own destiny right now. That's what you like to do if you're in first place especially.
One thing about the Oilers, they have 3 home games of their 4 remaining, and it could come down to those final 2 against their division opponents, Pittsburgh and Cincinnati. 3rd and 11 for the Colts, who once again hand to Dickerson. Stopped short of the first down with 2.5 minutes left. And Houston unable to stop the clock. They've used all their timeouts. Let's go to New York now for an update.
All right, Tom, here it is, tied at 20 at the Meadowlands. Jim Breach attempts a game-tying field goal. It unties it all right. But for the Jets, Barry Bennett blocks it. Rich Miano picks it up. 67 yards later, the Jets lead 27-20. About a minute and a half to play at Giant Stadium. Tom?
All right, Bob, thank you very much. And what a turnaround in that game as the Jets block the field goal attempt by Cincinnati and take it all the way for the go-ahead touchdown. Right here, we've reached the 2-minute warning at the Hoosier Dome in Indianapolis. The Colts leading Houston 41-27. Back after word from your local station. It's been a long game, but an exciting game, a lot of offense, and we've got to pick a Budweiser most valuable player. I'll throw out a couple of nominees, Eric Dickerson, Albert Bentley. Bentley's also had a big day.
I think I would go with Albert Bentley. Dickerson did what we expected him to do. He busted that 100-yard for the 4th time in a row. That was not unexpected, but Bentley, I think, has played an outstanding game with those two, that one reception especially, but those 2 touchdown receptions.
Well, Bentley's done it all. He's rushed, he's received, he's returned kickoffs, so we'll make Bentley our Budweiser MVP. We'll tell you more in a moment as Biasucci will try a 50-yard field goal for Indianapolis. Well, when you're hot, you're hot. Everything going right for the Indianapolis Colts. Biasucci from 50 for 3 more Indianapolis points. Well, there's Albert Bentley. And our MVP award is sponsored by Budweiser. Today's MVP, Albert Bentley of the Indianapolis Colts. Budweiser will make a contribution to the United Way on behalf of all the MVPs selected in today's games. No slight of Eric Dickerson, but Bentley with an all-around good game, acknowledging the camera right there. And he is, you said, somewhat of the forgotten man with the arrival of Dickerson. He'd been doing a good job before Dickerson got here. I'm sure his feelings hurt a little bit with the acquisition of Dickerson, but not giving up, not getting down, making his contribution, and certainly with a big game today.
Well, when you pick up a person like Eric Dickerson, one of the superstars in this league, the first thing that comes to your mind is that I'm not doing the job. They don't think I'm doing well enough, so they're going to bring somebody in here, pay him a mint to do my job. Well, that's not the case. Bentley has been doing a good job. Now with the acquisition of Dickerson, he's doing a great job.
And so are the Indianapolis Colts, who bounced back from a disheartening defeat at New England a week ago, and that's a difference in an Indianapolis team, too. In the past, they might have chucked it, thrown in the towel, but they bounced back with a big win over a good Houston team here today.
Now it's up to Houston to bounce back. Now they've suffered 2 disappointing losses in a row. Number 1 last week and this one this week.
Biasucci will kick it off. Drury is deep for Houston. 1:56 left in the game. Game is approaching 3.5 hours in length. Drury bounce over his head and out of the end zone for the touchback. The Oilers will take over at their own 20. How does a player approach this time of the game? If you're an Oiler player or a Colt player for that matter, as you see Trudeau and Hogaboom, and you see now the Oilers sideline. The issue is decided. Just 1:56 left. Boy, you'd be afraid of going out there and getting hurt at this time as you look at the report card. The Oilers with Moon passing for 287 yards. A couple of interceptions, though, to go with the 3 TDs. Rozier did a good job. Hill with a big day, and Zendejas.
Good games, right?
It's been the defense that's left them down, enabling Indianapolis to make the big play.
The best thing you could do at this point is not to let up one bit. Because if you go out there and you let up, you start saying that this game is over. And it is over for all intents and purposes. It is over. But you got to go out and play hard, because if not, you're going to get caught from the blind side and get hurt.
Well, Hogaboom, before his injury, tossed for 149 yards and a pair of touchdowns. Dickerson scored 2 and gained 136 yards, over 100 for the 4th consecutive game, a Colt record. Bentley, our Budweiser MVP, 2 touchdowns receiving. He also gained 60 or 70 yards. And Biasucci has been tough as well. All-round good team effort by the Indianapolis Colts today. Moves pass rifled over the head of everyone. Drury, the intended receiver, he couldn't get it. Willie Tullis was covering. He couldn't either.
With the wide receivers that Houston has, I don't understand why they don't just run the fly pattern, which is just a straight pattern down the field, and let Moon throw it as far as he can.
Overtime, Philadelphia and New England. The Jets with that blocked field goal for a touchdown in front, and St. Louis leading. We have some other games just starting. San Diego on an interception return by Vince Glenn, the longest return in Chargers history, 103 yards, with a touchdown early. Moon lets it fly incomplete. 103 yards, Vince Glenn, with an interception of Elway, the longest return in Chargers history for a touchdown in that Denver-San Diego game, which is just starting. You also saw the Giants on top of Washington and the Rams with an early lead against Tampa Bay. Jim Everett with a pass, 23 yards for a touchdown. A lot of exciting action today, a lot of surprises. And as we come down the stretch in the NFL season, it's been with the strike and with all the also-rans coming to the front, it's been an unusual, if not great, season. Perhaps the quality of play hasn't always been the best, but with the strike games counting, it's thrown everything into a turmoil. Moon. They rule that Moon was in the grasp, and it'll be a sack. The pass was complete, but it's ruled in the grasp. And it is the first sack of the day for the Indianapolis defense.
Well, it's one of those things you just wrap up. What do you do now if you're an Indianapolis Colt team? You can score over 50 points for the first time in who knows how long in Colt history, or you can just down the ball there. As you see Moon in the grasp, you see he was in the grasp there. But that just shows you how strong he is because he didn't go down.
And since that was a fourth down play, it means the Colts take over at the 11 of the Oilers. George Wansley is in at a running back now. Wansley has only carried 10 times this season. 4-year veteran out of Mississippi State. So Ron Meyer calling off the dogs. At least he doesn't have Dickerson or Bentley in there.
No, but he's going to try to get 6 points out of it, I believe.
Bellini is in motion. He's also in the game for the first time. Wansley stumbling forward, hit about the 5 or 6 yard line.
He's not trying to score necessarily to rub it in the face of the Houston Oilers. He's just got his young people in there, and why not let them get into the end zone if they can? You know, you've got a minute and a half, and that's a long time to just sit on the ball.
Final score in from New York. The Jets have beaten Cincinnati 27-20. That 67-yard return of the blocked field goal by Miano was the difference. Minute to play. Wansley again. Crawling forward to the 2. The fans here are vicious. They want more.
It's been a long time since these fans in Indianapolis have had a chance to do like this.
Well, I don't know that the Colts have gotten to the category of the superpower now where they can afford to alienate some of these other teams.
That's right. But you see Wansley, he definitely wants to get in there. He's fighting his way into that end zone. He's scratching and crawling and doing what it takes to get in there. And this is their last chance to get into the end zone with 18 seconds left.
I'm sure it'll be Wansley again.
He may go over the top.
And he's in.
Sounds like they just won the Super Bowl.
Well, insult to injury here at the Hoosier Dome. You can't blame Wansley for wanting to score. What comes to mind is the Buddy Ryan Dallas Cowboys feud.
Oh, if these two ever meet again later on this year, you can imagine what's going to happen. If Houston ever gets a chance to get up on Indianapolis, they will take no prisoners.
Do players really feel that? Do they feel embarrassment? Do they feel anger in a situation like this?
Right now, at this stage of the game, it doesn't matter. It's worse to lose by 1 than to be blown out.
You just want to get on the bus and get out of here at this point.
That's all the Houston Oilers want to do is get back to familiar surroundings. And maybe not want to go back there right now either.
Well, they sold out a week ago, and Cleveland ran them out of the stadium. They lose this one on the road by a big count, as Indianapolis has now scored. Beach is right in the middle of a lot of white shirts. Indianapolis has scored 51 points. Final score in on the St. Louis-Atlanta game. The Cardinals win it 34-21.
The defense, the point was good. It will be carried over to the following kickoff.
That's one of those penalties that happens because you do score the touchdown.
All right, we've got 6 seconds left. What time did you say your plane was?
Well, you folks watching the game in Indianapolis, your game is over, but the action is coming fast and furious in San Diego. Here is Vency Glenn intercepting a John Elway pass and then breaking an attempted tackle by Ricky Natil, who tried to get him by the shoe tops and couldn't. It's a 103-yard interception return for a San Diego touchdown.
For 50 points for the first time in a while since 1976, as a matter of fact. And there are 6 seconds left in this game from the Hoosier Dome.
The only thing as a player that 51 points means to the Houston Oilers is that statistically they gave up a lot of points. It doesn't matter. It really hurts you more to lose 28-27 than it does 51-27.
Well, I haven't seen the latest stats, but for a long time, the Oilers had outgained the Colts. There's Dickerson. He must have gotten the game ball. He was playing with the football on the sideline. He had a big day, over 100 yards again. Squib kick. A scramble for it, and the clock just ticked off 1 second, I'm sorry to report.
One thing about Dickerson is he came into this camp with the Indianapolis Colts, and he was instantly accepted, not because of who he was, but because how he portrayed himself. He just wanted to play football. He moved his locker from the running back's position all the way down to the offensive lineman, because those are the people who are going to make his days hard or make his days long or short. And he just decided he was going to be one of the boys, if you will, and show up and be just a Colt, not a superstar, just a Colt.
And he's also been handing out kudos to his offensive line already, as he did when he was a Ram. In fact, he bought the Rams offensive line some gifts over the years, didn't he?
I'm sure he did, and hopefully he'll buy some here for the Colt linemen.
Well, what they'd like is a Super Bowl ring. If that's not exactly realistic, at least to make the playoffs. That should be the final play. And the game is over. The Indianapolis Colts, Michael, with an impressive performance today.
Very impressive indeed. I tell you, I never expected the game to be this one-sided.
Honda Sail. Honda Sail. Honda Sail.